Do this one, though.
That's pretty cute. Accomplished comedian.
What is accomplished?
Did you write this one?
This is not against
Accomplished.
This is not against anybody.
Accomplished comedian Sinbad has announced he's filing for bankruptcy for the second time.
The second time.
Oh God, it's so retarded. Sounds like things have gone from Sinbad to sin worse. Okay.
But Canada, you know.
Canada,
but
you're
anyways, the guys from America were unbelievable, and it was you, and it was Leno, and Leno like was at the peak.
Jay
Leno. My dad would call him Jay Leno.
Leno.
Is that the one where Sinbad was on?
Oh yeah, he always wants to tell me stories, me to tell stories about Sinbad. But I love Sinbad. When I did my first comedy festival thing, that Montreal thing.
What year was that?
Fuck, I don't know.
Like 87?
Yeah, I don't know dates.
Yeah.
But it was around there. And
how long had you been doing comedy at that point?
6 months.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it was Canada, so we got a home
so that was like
court thing.
In American years, that's 4 years?
No, I'm saying because the Montreal Comedy Festival was in Canada, we had a quota to fill. You know, I would never have gotten on it if I was in the States. But so I got my 5 minutes, just wrote. That's the way I used to do comedy. I'd memorize every fucking word. And so I had it all figured out and shit, right? And so then I go there, I meet Sinbad, right? So I didn't know who Sinbad was. And he goes, and he's completely relaxed. I'm all thinking about my
some sort of one-piece outfit.
He did. His hair matched his shirt.
Yeah.
And they were both orange.
Yeah.
So then he said, he was just so relaxed, and he said, hey, let's go. I got to get some socks. So we go to this fucking store, right? When we first go into the store, there's no one there. It's a small store. So there's no one there. The lady's in the back.
Yeah.
So the lady takes a minute to come out.
Yeah.
And he's like, where's that lady? You know, there's nobody here, you know? And I'm like, yeah. And so he comes out, he gets his fucking socks. Nothing happens, right? So then that night at the gala, I do my carefully constructed material.
Yeah.
Sinbad comes out. He goes, what the fuck is going on? And he doesn't swear. He goes, what's going on with these stores with socks? I'm like, holy shit. And then he's like, you go in the store and there's no one there. And then people are agreeing with him. I'm like, what? It didn't make none of it made any sense except that he destroyed and I didn't. That's when I realized that I was missing a whole bunch of stuff, because I guess at first you think you're good and stuff like that.
No, you are good, and I think that the fact is, really, if you were to look at it in another way, that if people are able to do an impersonation of you, that means you have a defined style. Whereas, like, I guarantee you there's not a lot of people that can do Sinbad, though you did just do a pretty good one.
I was trying to do it as unracist as possible.
Does President Clinton have a bent penis? Well, according to a doctor who examined him last week, the president's genitals are, quote, completely 100% normal. It should be noted, however, that the doctor who examined him also has a bent penis. That may color his findings a little. As his last stop on the trip, the president met in Buenos Aires Thursday with Argentinian President Carlos Menem. During the meeting, Clinton asked Menem to continue with economic reform and protect democratic freedoms. Menem, in turn, asked Clinton to show him his bent penis. Tomorrow, Chinese President Jiang Zemin begins a week-long visit that could define U.S. relations with China for years to come. President Clinton plans to ask Jiang for several things, including human rights reform, trade expansion, and a Chinese herb said to have the power to straighten a bent penis. This week, an angry President Clinton demanded that Congress stop dragging its feet on something he has long championed, a medical Bill of Rights for U.S. citizens. In all, there are 10 items in the President's Bill of Rights, running from number 1, a rich, satisfying sex life is the foundation of good health. To number 10, a straight penis is not a privilege, it is a right.
And come to think of it, I got addicted to you. Oh, no, no, no. And come to think of it, I need somebody like you. Oh, no, no, no. I need someone like you.
To know one thing before you go today. I know there are other questions, but you say that you there were distinguishing characteristics on the president's private parts. For America, please tell us what that is. We've got to know.
Well, it was like that.
Oh God!
It was.
It turned. Okay, that was it. Thank you. Well,
obviously a lot of entertaining celebrities, but Norm Macdonald used to come on our show in the early days, and those were, I thought, great television because we never knew it was happening, and it was always teetering on the edge of it was all about to blow up. It's all about to fail, and it would always end brilliantly. And then he stopped coming around, and it was just a period that passed. And I was always sad about that because I thought we're a very celebrity-conscious age, and people always think that the best guests are the biggest celebrities. Sometimes, the best guests are these people that you have a weird connection with, and it's compelling television. People see and they talk to me about it later on. Like I'll be out in the world walking around and people will say, I saw that when you were with Harlan or when you were with Norm or with Will, and that really got wild and crazy in a way that they don't see on television now.
Have you, over the years, who are some of the people who have been your go-to people that I just remember Dave in his early years had Terry Garr and he had Sandra Bernhard.
Yes.
And they were kind of magic together. Who are your...
I had so many people. Norm Macdonald was this person who would come, you all know Norm Macdonald, but Norm Macdonald, when we'd have him on in the early days, to this day I've never interviewed anybody like Norm Macdonald.
Who was the best guest that you've ever interviewed, and who was the worst?
I love Will Ferrell. I also love Norm Macdonald because he comes on and his stories are all invented. None of them are real. They're all old farmers' daughters jokes. And he pretends he'll come on. I'll say, what's up, Norm? He'd be like, the other day I was walking down the road and a pirate comes up to, I'm like, what? Yeah, a pirate comes along and he's got 3 pigs with him. One of them is wearing a hat, one's got a pipe, and then it's just a complete waste of everybody's time that's absolutely delightful and hilarious. And so I love him.
Your favorite guests are always like the Bill Burr, Norm Macdonald. This might go off the rails really fast. Type of guys.
Yeah. I mean, Norm Macdonald, one of the great talk show guests of all time. He invented something that Norm Macdonald invented this amazing thing that I've never seen anybody do before or since. It's kind of like he split the atom. It was that revolutionary. Norm would come on and he would, instead of telling you a real story, like if I had you on the show and you're like, hey, Bill, tell me, well, and remember I was living in Chestnut Hill once, and you would tell a real story about what happened to you in your life. Norm tells old jokes as stories that happened to him.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, Norm, what are you up to? And I mean, really old jokes from like the 1920s. And he'd be like, well, Conan, I don't know if you're aware that I purchased a farm, Conan. I'd be like, really? You purchased I purchased a farm. Of course, I have 3 daughters. And I'm like, you have 3 daughters? Yeah, I have 3 daughters on the farm. One very attractive, one not as attractive, and of course the third not, kind of, well, she's ugly, Conan. She's ugly. And I'd be like, Well, one day this traveling salesman comes to the farm, and he says, now, Norm, I tell you, and then it's like he's telling an old traveling salesman joke.
Yeah.
But
about halfway through where it's going.
I mean, I usually know. I know kind of what he's doing. I'm laughing that he has the balls to do this. I'm laughing at the audacity. So I don't even care if this joke lands or not. I'm laughing that he's committing to the fact that, no, he doesn't have a farm. He doesn't have 3 daughters. There's no traveling salesman. But he doesn't care in a way that is exhilarating and scary at the same time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
plus, he probably has some people in the audience who are taking completely seriously, right?
Yes. Yeah. He's got some people thinking.
We call them tourists.
Yes, we call them. They're usually from San Bernardino.
Well, Norm had the greatest talk show moment in the history of talk shows with Courtney Thorne Smith.
That was epic. That was so great. And it's funny because
it's lived on. Who knew that we were going to have YouTube eventually?
You know
where
what?
we could just queue it up on command.
God bless YouTube. I had no idea when those things were happening. I thought, we're talking 1993, 94. When those things were happening, I thought, what did I know? I just thought if you were up and you saw it, that means you saw you saw an amazing thing happen. And if you, and then maybe if I get to stay on the air long enough, we'll have a 1-year anniversary show and maybe you'll see it then. But if you're not there for that, it's gone. And now I meet people, that around the world that will say, oh, I just saw that thing with you and Norm and Courtney Thorne Smith. And I'll think that was a moment of my life when I was 30.
Yeah.
And I'm like 85 now. Like, how is that possible?
Straight to the heart. I went a long time acting like I was a broken apart by you.
Everybody knows now Norm MacDonald died 2 days ago, and I got the news like everyone else, just absolutely stunned. Had no idea that Norm had not only been very ill, but been very ill for a very long time. None of us had any idea. And there's been this seismic reaction, which is appropriate, completely appropriate in the comedy world. And a lot's been said about Norm. And I just had this very strong feeling yesterday that I needed to talk to people about it and talk to people who, like me, experience Norm in the moment and really try and understand what it was about this man, this very improbable, unusual man. What made him so different? And I maintain that, we are accustomed, sadly, to losing funny, talented people all the time, and we grow accustomed to it. I think Norm's impact is only going to grow, and I think his significance in comedy is only going to expand over time because he was such an incredible talent, and trying to describe what made Norm different is so difficult. And I think so far I've read everything that's out there, and I'm hearing, to be fair, people were all taken by surprise. You're just hearing he was an original and there was no one like Norm. And I keep thinking, no one's getting to it. And I just wanted to take a stab today to try and understand what exactly it was about this guy that was so brilliantly unusual and is going to be so lasting, and his work is so important. And one of the things that speaks to, I was having a conversation with Jim Downey and in the wake of Norm's death, and Jim Downey, and I was trying to get to what is it that made Norm so different, and he reminded me, he said, on Weekend Update, we would do, there's a dress rehearsal, which I know because I worked at Saturday Night Live. There's a dress rehearsal, and he said, the best way to test a joke on Weekend Update is at dress rehearsal. If it does well at dress rehearsal, it will do well on air. If it doesn't do well at dress rehearsal, it will bomb on air. It's the best way to test it. And he said that Norm would do a joke at dress rehearsal that they both loved, and it would get nothing. And when Weekend Update was over, Jim would say,
yeah, it's too bad that joke didn't do well. And Norm would say like, yeah, I know, but we got to do it. So he would do jokes that he knew were going to get nothing.
Yeah.
If he thought the joke was worthwhile, he didn't give a shit. Now, that is very uncommon. That is very...
Well, he never pandered.
He didn't pander at all. And that takes... you know, that's what made me think about the line you said so many years ago, Andy. Like, it almost terrifies me, his fearlessness, because it was the thing he did so many times on our show, which I thought was absolutely outrageous, was he would launch into these long stories that you quickly realized were farmers' daughter jokes
or shaggy dog
stories
just absolute horseshit
horseshit stories. And he would go on and on and on. And I'm so happy that the moth joke has been getting circulated so much from our Tonight Show, because it is completely outrageous what he's doing. It is you know, it's the Tonight Show, and he is telling this very long story, and he's taking all the time in the world. And I love it just because even though I was there, I'm delighted every time I see it.
Yeah.
I every time I see it, I'm delighted with it, because what he's doing breaks every rule. Brevity is the soul of wit. That is the rule.
Yeah.
Keep it, you know, and man, he completely, like Picasso, blew up the form. He goes and he tells this joke forever, and then finally gets to this punchline, and you can see that everyone's delighted, but he has broken every rule in the book. And I was talking to Lori Joe, and I asked her if it's okay if I related this, and she said it was okay. But she said that not too long ago, someone asked Norm about the moth story that he told on our Tonight Show, and that she said, the guy wanted to know what made you have the nerve to do that, and that he said that, you know, it was that goddamn Frank Smiley. He said, I was only supposed to do one segment. And then suddenly in the commercial break, Frank came over and said, like, you're doing another one, because whenever I had Norm, I was greedy. I wanted more Norm. I always wanted more Norm. And so he didn't know that we were going to ask him to do a second segment. He had nothing planned. Absolutely nothing planned. And so as recently as like, not that long ago, I think this was a couple of months ago, he was telling somebody, damn it, that was Frank Smiley. Hey, get back out there. Conan wants more.
So he heard that joke from Colin Quinn. And he did the segment, and it was he had 7 minutes prepared.
Yeah.
And so he basically, you say, you know, and then he's done. He's done. You say, we'll be right back with more Norm. And he goes, I've got nothing to say.
Yeah.
So then he remembered the Colin joke, and it was a 20-second joke. So he asked you, how long is the segment? And he was hoping you'd say 20 seconds.
Right.
But you said 7 minutes.
Yep.
So it became a 7-minute joke.
Yeah, and he's doing that. This has to be understood. He's doing this on the fly.
Yep.
So his way to slow it down that he came up with on the fly is he invents...
It's a Chekhov play.
It's a Chekhov play.
With Russian names. And there's a sadness, an ineffable sadness in life weighing on the character's soul. And and I'm thinking, you know, I've never met anybody who would take that chance and make that choice. And I'll never meet anybody like him again.
He was the ballsiest comedian in the history of comedians.
He was taking that, and he was saying, like, the joke doesn't matter. Like that, you know, watching that, seeing that clip again, you're getting to see his brain. Yeah. He's just showing you his brain. And the notion that the joke is the thing, the joke isn't the thing.
No, it's the journey.
It's taking a stroll through this guy's brain and hearing the choices that he makes and what he has to say. And you know, and I think that was like kind of what, like, there was so much of like what he, you know, would say, like, well, that doesn't matter, this matters, you know, and what mattered to him was his own self-expression, was spreading his own kind of genius and his own point of view. Like, there's a clip out, he did some roast, and I remember seeing it at the time. I can't remember who it was that he was roasting, but all his jokes are things.
It was Bob Saget.
Was it Bob Saget?
Yes. And it was unbelievable.
It was, but all the jokes were things like, you know, Bob often has a lot of things on, or, you know, Bob often has things on his mind. It's when he's wearing a hat. Like, it was all these dad jokes, intentionally bombed.
Right.
And then I didn't even know this, but I remember feeling like, okay, Norm, I mean, you know, these are funny, and you're funny doing them because you can't help but be funny, but this feels a little hostile, you know, like, why are you breaking from what this, you know, you were invited to a costume party and you came, you know, in a tuxedo, you know, whatever. He didn't play by the rules of the thing. Turns out the producers told him, really go for it, really get him. And Norm was like, yeah, you're going to tell me what to do. Here, I'll do this. I'll do the softest, lamest dad jokes I can come up with.
Yeah.
And it was just a fuck you to the producers. It looked weird at the time. It was funny in a way, but it still was just like, it was Norm doing what the fuck he wanted to do.
It was still hilarious.
Yeah.
And it's like Norm couldn't not be funny.
Yeah.
I've had this gnawing regret this last day and a half, and it's reading all this praise for Norm, which again I believe is completely justified and will endure. And it's been a regret that he didn't get to experience this. You know, he took so much flack in his career. He took so much shit. And yes, he knew that he had fans, but I wish, you know, it's a common wish for people, but I wish he had been able to read the stuff that's being written about him. I wish he knew how beloved he is, and also how in awe comedians are of what he did and what he meant, and how you know,
how important he was to the people who are probably the most important people in the world to him.
Yeah.
You know,
and he, you know, I wish he knew that. And that's the one regret you know, he kept his illness a complete secret from everybody. And that was his choice, and I respect that choice.
See how it's done.
But selfishly for me, I wish I had the chance, and I wish a lot of us wish we had the chance to go in and tell him, you were a singular artist, and you've really made a huge difference, and I mean, if nothing else, I don't know of anybody that could make me laugh like that.
I thought of two things. The first thing I thought of was I might owe Drew Michaels an apology, because he made a special with no audience, and I hated it. Because I looked at it like a swimming meet with no water, or like that's the whole thing. But this was very endearing. It was amazing. This there's no question.
Yeah.
I also forget how poetic he is.
Yeah.
You know, with Norm, like, I didn't know him that well in the 90s. And then when my dad died, I had to do a movie with Norm, and I tried everything to get out of that movie because I was inconsolable. And I couldn't get out of it. And working with him was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. It was like he was the right guy at the right time. I was inconsolable.
Did he talk to you about your dad a lot? Or what did he do?
Never came up.
Uh-huh.
He just made me laugh.
Yeah, right.
He just, and it was, wistful and musing. And Norm is, you never knew he was setting something up or not. We were just hanging out, and all of a sudden it'd be like this punchline out of nowhere. But it started to become like work was like a church I go to. Like I couldn't wait to get to work and just hang around this guy.
That's sweet.
And I knew he was special.
Yeah.
And I've known people for years and years that didn't make me laugh as much as he did in that 8 or 10 weeks. So he's like a real special person to me. And the way he's funny, I just never seen someone get at it like that. And I feel like he landed the trick.
Yeah,
His timing is like a drummer's. It's like a jazz drummer.
But what would the timing have been with an audience? Still perfect?
I can't tell. He's so nice with it. I feel like it looked like it was supposed to be that. I can't. It's hard to explain.
This is like listening to a good book on tape.
Yeah, it's really.
Yeah, that's good.
It reminds me of what I liked about him. He's a soothing person to be around.
Yeah, gentle.
There's something about my favorite comedy it's counterintuitive, makes people feel safe, like everything's gonna be all right. This guy was, in a weird way, reconciling his mortality hilariously in front of us. And ironically, he's no longer with us. We're sitting in the aftermath of the life of Norm MacDonald, watching like him be incredibly alive.
How would those have registered in front of a live audience, do you think?
Not one of the sucker's mother's tits would kill.
Oh, well, that would have murdered. He had a bunch of things that would have murdered.
Because, yeah.
When he smiled, I could picture him as a child.
Oh yeah.
He is he was my senior, but he's got a boyish charm. When he laughs at his own jokes.
Him laughing is amazing.
There's something just joyful about watching it.
Stay safe, folks. I love you. I would drop the mic, but I paid for it.
That was sweet, man.
Holy shit.
Tearjerker ending. Fuck.
Yep.
Which brings us to two notable comedians and two friends of Gilbert's. And Gilbert, you might have to do the driving on this one. Let's start with the late, great Norm.
Yeah, I remember doing Norm's podcast. And, as always, it turned with any of my comic friends who would turn like deranged. Mm-hmm. And he was very funny with that. He'd always talk with like a sneer, It's like and I remember right after I put that photo up a few times. It's one of my favorite photos. Afterwards, after doing Norm's show, Norm and I joined Jeff Ross and, of course, Bob Saget.
Yeah.
And I remember that being a night of just nonstop laughs.
You could tell even from the still photo that you guys were ripping it up.
Yeah, it was just so much fun.
Truly original. I never met him. It's funny. I'm in comedy a long time, and I know a million comedians, and I've gotten to work with a million comedians, and for some reason our paths never crossed. And we wanted to get him on this show, Gil, as you know.
Yes.
And he was Norm. So he was strangely strangely hard to pin down, or non-committal, or could do it and then couldn't do it, and.
I can't. I don't really know. You know, I know I'm working.
One of the truly great comic minds, though, and that his last appearance on Letterman, where he got so emotional, you know, and in ways it sounds corny. I felt I knew him through his work, and obviously a lot of mutual friends. That Letterman appearance, really.
Gil, your appearance on his podcast, that whole podcast was so good.
It was
and so funny.
Yeah, let's not diminish that, Gilbert. It made history, your appearance, and also the Einstein episode.
Yeah.
With Norm.
Yeah, I remember when I was on Norm's podcast. Afterwards, I just felt like I ran a marathon. It was just got crazier and crazier.
Netflix owns that show now, and they're not available to the public, unfortunately, and they're sitting on them. Hopefully, one day it would be great if that podcast was re-released, because
there's that Bob Einstein episode is also legend.
Yep.
You know, what can you say about the guy? I mean, a really rare, truly original comic voice.
Really,
and I love
such
Kurt
a
Ferguson
loss.
more than life itself.
He, by the way, Norm's book, based on a true story, not a memoir, which is so funny. The audio book, he narrates it. So if you miss Norm and you've never heard him reading his book, it's brilliant.
Now I got to get it. Yeah, I regret never meeting the man. And Gilbert,
Same.
I'm glad you had such wonderful times with him.
Yes, he was a lot of fun.
It's a big loss. It's a loss for this
podcast,
just
like a total smartass.
Yeah, I wish our paths had crossed.
You say there's no way we could go back, and that I've broken what we had. Oh, I wish that you would come around. No.
So let's move on to Bob. Last but not least, which was a blow and not expected. And I will say that I had just reached out to Bob. We just recorded our 400th episode a couple of days ago, Gilbert and I reached out to Bob and I said, will you come and do this with us? And he said, I think I'm on a plane that night. And we were going back and forth and trying to arrange something. And then I sent him the link, which has been shared online. I sent him the link to Don Rickles' estate auction. Did you see that?
Oh, yeah.
They
I bid on a couple things.
You bid on a couple of things?
And I got none of them.
Bob's face was on a couple of items that, you know, like there was pictures of them together and a poster or something. And I said, hey, you might want to bid on some of these things. And he wrote me back and he said, this just makes me sad, actually. And he said, but life goes on. And I had said to my wife, I have to call Bob. I have to text Bob. We moved the date of the 400th episode, and I got a phone call from my sister-in-law probably 20 minutes later telling me she just heard that he was gone. It was very shocking, and still is.
I had just spoken to Bob like a few days before he died. And we were on the phone, and as always, the minute anything turned at all sincere or serious, we turn it to just complete filth and make it reverse, and it was always fun. And it was like, I always remember, like, when the Aristocrats came out, people were saying, can you believe Bob Saget talks like that? And to people who knew him, they say, we couldn't believe he could speak any other way.
It wasn't Danny Tanner.
No.
I didn't know him that well. I certainly didn't know him as well as Gilbert, but you know, but that was part of him. But there was such a gentleness to the guy.
Yes.
Too. I mean, his humor was so edgy and so dark and it could be so scatological, as you'll hear because we're rerunning the second episode that we did with him. But he didn't want to injure. He didn't want to hurt anybody. He was very, very, very sensitive guy. Did he always tell you that he loved you before he hung up the phone, Gilbert?
Yes.
As Dara shared with me, there was a real kindness to him that you couldn't miss.
yeah, and I remember I got a call from Jeff Ross who said, "Oh, sad news! Bob Saget died," and I swear I thought, "Oh, this is going to be a funny sick joke," and I said, "Oh, okay," and I was waiting for the punchline, and then he said, "No, seriously, he died," and I still have a hard time grasping that.
It's a gut punch. It really is. You Gilbert you made the rounds. You went on CNN. You went on television. You said some lovely things about him. But it's 65. I mean, it's too young. It's too big a loss for.
And it seemed like he was another one starting out again. Like he did a live show.
Yeah.
And he was really excited to be getting back to live performing. And
going back to the second podcast with him, and he started that podcast, Bob Saget's Here For You. And it did seem like he was entering another phase of his career and another phase of his life. It seemed like he was more wistful and trying more to be of service. I mean, that's why he was pleasant to be around. There really was no show business at all to the guy.
Yeah.
And he struck me, again, didn't know him well, but he struck me as also having a sadness about him. Do you think that, Gil, did you feel that?
Yeah.
A depth and a sadness about him.
And he also, he had two sisters who died.
Yeah, that's right.
One from scleroderma, which was a charity he did loads of work for.
Yes, to his credit.
And see, there's another thing that shows that what I've always said about comedy and tragedy. He made, I remember being with him a few times where he made jokes about his sister. Really deranged stuff. But then you see, he loved his sister.
Of course.
And his family was totally traumatized by it. But he could just be completely sick. I think if you could communicate with the dead and get in touch with Bob Saget, he would make completely bad taste jokes about his own death. He was that kind. He would just really
staying true to his art to the end.
Yes.
To the bitter end. It's a big loss for us personally, for Gilbert and Jeff and Stamos and obviously a lot of his friends and fans.
And I put up a photo too. I was on the beach with Jeff, and we're holding up a phone, and on the phone is Bob Saget, because we're sitting on the beach and said, "Hey, let's call Bob."
I saw the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not much else we can add. Rest in peace, Bob.
Two 23-year-old women in China this week have set a record, living 12 days in a room with 888 deadly snakes. They now hold a coveted place, in the Guinness Book of World Retard.
Used to do that.
What about this, Joe?
Alex Trebek set a Guinness World Record for most game shows hosted. The previous record holder was Who Gives a
He's a game show host. Well, how about this? College freshman Scott Damerow, Larry, set a new world record by using his head to bust 142 eggs, and he now officially holds a place in the Guinness Book of Retards. Oh, it's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Why are these dirty?
Little one, you've been away so long, and I need you now more than forever.
Ready, set.
I prefer the Indian casinos. That's what I like, because
I don't want to give my money. If I'm going to lose money, and I'm going to lose money, I don't want to do it in Las Vegas to a bunch of corporate businessmen. I would rather go to an Indian casino and lose it to the Native Americans, you know, on account of my forefathers systematically murdered them years ago. Which, looking back on it, way out of line. Way out of line. Anyways, I look at it as a form of reparations, you know? And I tell you, I've done my part, goddammit. Probably done your part, too. Anyways, I love casino.
Melissa McCarthy is Norm MacDonald.
Thank you. Thank you, but I am sorry I cannot, in good conscience, accept this award on behalf of Melissa McCarthy. I instead have chosen to give my time to a friend who has something very important to say.
My name is Johnny Two Feathers. While you enjoy tonight's show, I want you to think about something. The spot where you're sitting, every square foot of ground in this country was stolen from my ancestors. And after you stole it, you murdered them. So you'll forgive us if we do not laugh along. There is nothing funny about the extermination of a people. The theater stinks of blood. That's all I have to say. Oh.
Johnny Two Feathers, everybody. Johnny Two Feathers. Give him a wave, Johnny. Oh, Johnny, you don't want to wave? All right. Well, Johnny Two Feathers, everybody.
Probably just like masturbating in a dark room.
Angry over the Atlanta Braves and Cleveland Indians' use of Indian caricatures as logos, Native Americans showed up at the World Series tonight. They chanted for hours to protest Indian stereotypes. Though it didn't help their cause any when it started to rain. Native Americans in upstate New York are trying to block plans to build a Kmart on the site of a Mohican burial ground. In addition, they were upset to learn that sales at this particular Kmart will be announced, "Attention Kmart savages." In Michigan, State Historical Commission officials say they will not interfere with the building of a new major sports stadium, even if construction unearths historical artifacts. However, state Indian Affairs officials say that if relics from a Native American tribe are found, they would like to have the land set aside and designated as a sacred tribal burial ground / giant casino. In Wisconsin, students at Menominee High School are desperately fighting efforts by the politically correct to change their team nickname the Indians. Already, opponents of the name have rejected the students' first compromise, the Drunken Indians. They feel that's almost worse in a way, you know? In Bridgeport, Connecticut, the Staticoti Indian tribe is seeking recognition by the Bureau of Indian Affairs in order to open either a manufacturing company or a casino. I wonder which one they'll choose. Manufacturing company or the casino. In Norwich, Connecticut, a local museum has made a long overdue effort at racial reconciliation by returning 21 ancient tribal artifacts to the Mohegan Indians. But as for everything else in the country, we'll be keeping that. Yeah. It's good news, really. We don't have to give any of it back.
It's like the difference between the Cleveland Indians and the Washington Redskins. I can see where Redskin might upset somebody just a little. I don't think you're ever going to get it changed, but at least it is a bit denigrating. But Indians, isn't that? I never understand that.
You don't understand it?
No.
Well, here's the thing, man.
Or Braves.
I have no formal education.
Mm-hmm.
And as a matter of fact, I don't have any informal education. It's not like I'm hanging out with professors on the weekend, right?
Yes.
But this is the way I understand it. Old Chris Columbus, he sailed over here, and then he got here, and he thought it was India.
Jesus, what a dolt. And that's the source of us all.
Yeah, so he goes, hey, man, look at all those Indians.
All right. Oh, that's it.
And then one of his buddies goes, hey, man, we took a wrong turn at the middle of the Pacific Ocean. This is America. and then he goes, hey, you Indians better get the hell out of here. You're not even in the right country.
Well, once you're about to take a country from somebody, you cannot refer to them as Native Americans. It only makes your task harder. They will fight harder because you've already told them you assume that it is their property. But my feeling is at some point there were an ice people, a horde of, almost Piltdown-men-like creatures who the Indians or whatever, the Native Americans came in and took this from. Isn't that the way of the world, Norm? That eventually everybody takes something.
What's a Piltdown, man? You talking about the old days?
I'm sorry to throw you off the scent of the conversation. I'm talking about in Paleolithic times. I assume that the Native Americans were not native here either, but came down and took this from somebody else. That's just the way of the world.
Yeah, everybody takes everything. Listen, Mother Nature is a brutal bitch.
Mm-hmm.
A red-clawed,
paint the picture.
Machine that eats and
shrieking harridan.
Yeah.
Little one, you've been away so long, and I need you now more than forever.
So, Jenny, what month was your issue?
Quoting Churchill.
May of 08. Who was on the cover? Do you remember?
It was a Russian girl. And my nickname's Genocide, so I think that was kind of funny.
What?
What? What do you mean?
Is Genocide giving her comedy fucking advice?
Why is that? It's funny because there was a genocide.
In Russia? Only about 70 years ago.
Against the Russian people.
Who still lives?
But me. That's not
You first.
Huh?
Czechoslovakia. No, it was
Holocaust.
it wasn't a complete genocide.
What do you mean?
No, it was.
Well, Stalin was a mass murderer.
Only Jewish people seem to get really offended by my nickname.
There are fives in a case.
Dave's getting more.
Right,
Well,
because they're the only ones that live.
Well, the only
through
true
a
genocide was the. Well, I don't want to say.
Another one this way, Sam.
That was a true genocide.
Wow. What?
The American Indians was a true genocide.
No, that was for land.
No, that was justified.
That was for land. We were taking their property.
No,
it doesn't matter. What does it matter what the motive
No,
is?
the genocide.
Yeah, the motive
against
is
the
to
Indians
just
was
hatred of a race to exterminate them
It was
without a
just- it was
political or economic
justifiable
agenda.
What we did with the Indians.
Well, it's not
No,
justifiable.
well, who's saying it's justified?
I said, well,
Just we got to bury them.
I'm just wondering how it's
just one counterpoint.
You've never heard the legal term justifiable genocide? Hitler was out of his mind at the time. Clearly insane.
Well, you gained weight.
gained a lot of weight, so did you.
I gained 45 pounds.
I was going to say something, actually.
Why?
Well, I thought you'd been gaining some weight.
Yeah, I gained 45 pounds.
Are you okay? Yeah, what's going on?
I'm doing it for a movie.
For what role? What's the role?
What are you playing, Jackie Gleason? What do you mean
It's not a particular movie. I just think they always need a fat guy in a movie.
You're doing hard.
You're paying it forward, yeah.
Hey, listen, have you noticed my enormous weight gain? I've gained 45 pounds. You know why I started to gain the weight, I told you.
I don't remember.
I'm up 45 pounds, and it was for a role in a movie.
That's right, it was.
Anyways, whatever.
What was the role for again?
It wasn't a particular role, but I figured they always need a big fat guy in a movie. Turns out they don't. They have plenty of fat guys that are much more experienced at acting and at being a fat guy than I am.
I thought we were going to be doing a bit where you're like a
Jerry Lewis?
Jiminy Glick character.
Yeah, no, I'm fat.
What happened?
Fried chicken and gravy. Let me tell you something. I thought it was funny.
Your heart could...
I thought gaining a lot of weight would be funny. And also, well, it started out I was doing it for a role, Andy.
Right.
I'm serious.
No.
I'm serious. I was
What
looking for a
role?
Well, there wasn't a specific role, but people are always looking for a fat guy. I'm telling you, my manager, my landlord rather, he managed to get rid of 230 pounds of ugly fat. He evicted me.
What?
Here, read this.
I thought you.
No, read this.
I want to read that one again.
Here, read that.
Sure, we all know about Norm's astonishing weight gain, but I think it's become a bit wearisome. So let's agree to stop having fun at his expense.
Say what you want about how huge and fat my head has gotten, but who'll forget it.
Try iron.
You know, my clothes, Larry, make me look slimmer, but they did not fool that flight of stairs that collapsed under my astonishing new girth. Papa, what do you call that? Papa John's?
Oh, okay.
A Papa John's delivery man has been arrested for allegedly selling more than $40,000 in cocaine hidden in pizza boxes.
Jesus.
To undercover police officers. This raises an important question. Where is all that pizza that was supposed to go in those boxes? Can I have them to eat? I'm a big fat guy. Well, I'm fat. I'm so fat when I get my shoe shined, I have to take the boot black's word for it.
You haven't seen your penis in 3 weeks. I'm keeping it clean.
Jesus Christ.
Well, is that what fat people say?
My penis? This is where most of my weight goes. Straight to whatever the fuck this is. I'm going to find a really good joke. You guys talk, and I'll find a good joke to
So,
end.
Adam,
yeah.
Is it hard to not drink?
You know you've gained too much weight, by the way, when your chair guy refuses to work with you anymore. But go ahead. When you had your heart attack, you weighed 195? Now you probably weigh about 175.
161.
161. And what are you, 5'10"?
5'10 and a half.
161, so you're probably no body fat.
Oh, I have a little bit in the rim here.
Yeah, I got more than that.
My legs, my arms
jowls.
are thin. My arms are thin. I used to have jowls. I don't have jowls.
I have more chins than
How old are you?
Huh?
How old are you?
I say I'll be 50 in October. I'm going to lose it though.
Yeah, it's the heaviest I've ever seen.
And since I've gained it, I sweat like a
you sweat
like a whore in church. I don't mean to be
what?
I don't mean to be filthy, but
a whore in church.
Yeah, she's nervous, so she sweats because
sweating like a Chris Dorner in a Big Bear cabin.
Okay, come on.
Well, I'm just
that's racist.
A little bit of
My
a
only chance of
drinking
losing
belly.
15 pounds is if I went to a British casino.
Do you know about this girl? She's mad at you. She was on the Greg Fitzsimmons show. Did you hear anything about this?
I know Greg Fitzsimmons.
Yeah, Greg does a show for us, and Greg was interviewing some girl, and she was going off.
I know who it is.
What's the girl's name?
You know, me and Norm have worked with her before. That's why he's going to laugh when I say the name. Laura Keitlinger. Hates your guts.
Did you know she hates you?
No.
Oh my God! Do you want to hear the clip? All right. Okay,
When Dirty Work came out, Comedy Central had a show called Canned Ham. It promoted movies, and me and Norm did it.
Oh, she hosted.
And she was the host. And
liked her, right?
But she seemed fine.
You have no problem with her.
She was on SNL.
Okay, listen to the comment on this, if you will.
By the way, wait, can I interrupt your old friend, Norm MacDonald? Did you guys write together on, He's not a friend of mine.
Roseanne, right?
Well, I was just using it loosely.
Now, you had a
boy,
reaction
not
just
a
now to
friend
Norm
at all.
MacDonald. Not a friend, not a fan.
You worked with him, though.
At Saturday Night Live.
Roseanne.
No, I missed him at Roseanne. Well, I came in, and he was supposed to be the my guide through SNL, and it turned out that he is a shit stirrer.
He was busy pissing in a bucket in front of people.
Well, no, he loves to pit people against each other. He used to find articles where somebody said one thing, and then he'd stand in the doorway and laugh. He'd find an article where Janine said something about Adam, and just create all this havoc. So it's funny that you said that, because he's probably one of the few people I really don't like.
Yeah. Norm is someone who really sticks out to you.
Well, because it was such a kind of a vulnerable time, being because it was the first time I'd ever done live TV and stuff, and he really and for all of us, really kind of made it difficult.
What about Norm Macdonald? You're at war with him as well. You two don't like each other.
Warring with Norm?
Here's what Norm said.
Oh, good.
I got it for you.
Another one.
Chris and Norm Macdonald apparently hate each other. This is according to my notes. When Norm hosted Saturday Night Live, Chris did not appear on the show. Wow.
Wait, when was it?
In November of 97.
Oh, right.
Norm said of Chris, I don't know, but to me he seems gay. He claims he's not, but I've never seen like a guy who's not gay seem so gay. I don't find him funny. What can I say? Never made me laugh. What happened between... First of all, I don't believe you're gay, are you? I know someone you dated.
No, I'm not gay.
Yeah, you did.
And he's certainly had to have laughed at you once or twice.
Right.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
a funny guy.
Right.
Well, that was the.
I mean, your
Rolling
characters.
Stone
Some of your
article.
characters are effeminate, so maybe people will think you're
Right.
gay.
Like Mango's, like
he's gay.
Queer as day.
Right. So
yeah.
So is Norm a homophobe? Is that the problem? He doesn't like gay
definitely
characters?
think he has a problem with
But give me the history of this. I love feuds.
Okay, let's see. I don't know
You
exactly.
didn't appear on the show for a reason. You just
No. I don't. I just think I didn't get my sketches in. It wasn't like I'm not appearing in the show.
And when you're on Saturday Night Live, I've heard this before. When you say you didn't get your sketches in, you have to write your own material. If you don't get it in, if
it doesn't pass muster,
then you're not on the show.
Right.
Wow,
Yeah.
a lot of pressure.
Yeah, every week.
So do you have to hire separate guys to help you write material?
No. I mean they're there. There's there's people you write with normally. So
right. Okay. Because I heard some people don't help other people. You know.
No, some people don't.
Right.
But I'm not, because I'm not exactly the easiest guy to write for, though. I'm not like, I'm not an everyman. I can't be the boyfriend all the time. I'm more of a freak.
So why Norm Macdonald? I mean, Norm is an easygoing guy. I know Norm. Why the dislike? Something happened.
Well, let's see. When I first got on the show, he was so nice. He and Spade,
right,
were just like so nice. And then I don't know what happened. He just started. Like Garth Brooks was, we did like a pitch meeting, and he started saying things in the pitch meeting like, you don't want to do, like Garth Brooks was a guest.
Yeah.
Was a guest. I was like, I'm sure you don't want to do another fag sketch. Like things like that, people would laugh.
Oh dear.
I was like, why is he saying why is it? And then it got kind of old, like, Jesus, Norm, you're like another.
And it makes you inhibited in a writing meeting if someone's goofing on you every time you open up your mouth, right?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't care because I'm not gay. If I was like, some gay guy going, I don't want anyone to know that I'm this little.
Right. And so the gay jokes kept going and going and going.
Yeah, the gay jokes kept going and going.
And then you finally said, hey, I've had it with you, Norm.
Well,
did you ever confront him?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, but it's like a playful thing. He says it's like a Jack Benny, Fred Allen kind of a feud thing.
But you don't see it that way.
No, I think he's I don't know. But he this is what happened. We were on a flight together. We didn't plan on being together on the same flight. We were flying from LA back to New York to do Saturday Night Live, and it was a red eye, and he's behind me, and we're getting along, whatever. He's talking about crapping on women, or I don't know what he was talking about, something like that.
Yeah,
and it was funny because he was so loud,
right?
So everyone else could hear it. Like, I just crap on this girl.
Yeah,
and I'm like, laughing,
right?
Because he's a funny guy.
Yeah.
And then I wake up. And, because it's a red eye, and one of my shoes is missing. And I was like, where's my shoe? And Norm's like, hey, you lost your shoe, huh? And then he leaves. And I'm like, so disoriented. And I'm the last guy in the flight looking for my shoe. And I just, walk off the plane with one shoe. And all the stewardess is like, you are funny.
Oh, no. So he stole your shoe.
He stole my shoe.
And he's playing goofs on you. He's not respecting you.
Right. And then I took his jacket on a really cold night.
Yes.
And his assistant called me at home going, I gotta get Norm's jacket. Please get me Norm's jacket. And she was like freaking out.
Right.
I was like, no, this is between Norm and I.
You can't play in this game.
I've interviewed Chris before. He's a good guy. Chris.
Thank you.
Is it not true that Jim Brewer, your former cast member, had a problem with you as well?
I think at one point he thought I stole an idea from him.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So, man, there's so much infighting. You got to admit.
But that's it, though.
Really?
That's not much for like 6 years.
With a lot of the cast members, and I think with Chris, do you remember that Rolling Stone cover came out, and they only put certain members of SNL on the cover?
Yeah, that was a big deal.
Didn't that cause a lot of strife inside?
Yeah. Well,
Why, they only chose certain amount of people for the cover. It was you.
Right, it was Will, me, Molly Shannon, and Sherry O'Terry.
And you did the cover, and the rest of the cast felt like, hey, what are we, garbage?
What is this?
But why be mad
it was
at you?
because of our characers, too. You know, it was like there was the cheerleaders.
You were the breakout guys.
Roxbury guys.
Right.
And Mary Catherine.
But aren't they mad or jealous because you guys broke out and they didn't? And don't they think that you should stick up for them and insist that they be on the cover as well? But you don't have that kind of juice.
No, what are we gonna?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's only makes sense that they would be on the cover. But what are we gonna do? I mean, Norm wanted to be. There's a big stink because he wanted to be on the cover
by himself.
Yeah.
Really?
No, I don't know if he wanted. No, he wanted to be
in that picture.
I don't know. He showed up later, and then he wanted to be. He wanted to stand in the middle of us.
And you said no.
Well, it was just like weird.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Why are you
like who are you?
Right here? It was like my variety show. What?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I guess he thought he was the guy. All right, Chauncey, thanks. All right. Artie Lang, go ahead.
Hey,
Artie
what's
Lang.
up, man?
Yeah, hey, Artie.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, no, I like Chris. I think he's funny. But what he said before about that Rolling Stone cover is wrong.
All right, go. Artie's going to defend Norm, I guess.
Norm represents.
You know, you might be wrong.
All right, go ahead.
No, it's just that Chris made it sound like Norm showed up begging to get on the cover of Rolling Stone.
Oh no, he wasn't begging. He was just like assuming he was on the cover with us. And
well, he was though.
I know he was.
But he wanted to stand in the middle as well.
No. Norm, they were begging Norm to do it, and he thought it seemed weird.
He didn't want to do it.
Right, he thought it seemed weird to stand in the middle of all you guys.
Oh, that's true.
They definitely wanted Norm to be on the cover because at the time, I mean, he was the funniest guy on the show. Howard, you've said that a million times.
I think Norm is hysterical.
He is. I already said that.
Yeah, and so does Chris.
But, I think Chris, he made it sound like Norm's begging to get on the cover of Rolling Stone.
No.
Said no.
Hey, Artie, do you know why Norm has such a problem with Chris?
No.
What is his problem?
I don't know. I wasn't there when they met or all that stuff happened.
He's never really...
Well, you are Mrs. Norm
Wait
MacDonald.
a minute, you weren't there during the shoot either, but you know all about that.
As a matter of fact, I was, because me and Norm had already done the movie, and I had lunch with his assistant, and we went over there.
There you go.
They said that this guy, Don Ohlmeyer, turns out to be the president.
Yeah, now I know Don Ohlmeyer, and just between you and me, he's an idiot.
Oh.
So I wouldn't take it seriously. If this guy fired you, you may still have a job. You never know.
Norm is here. Norm's so much in the news every time I turn around.
What? Oh, me in the news?
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Hotter than ever.
Yeah.
My gosh. Looks like they did you a big favor over there at NBC.
Yeah, they hate me.
Oh, but look what happened to you. Became a movie star, just like that.
Yeah, that's true.
But hadn't you already started filming this movie long before that whole controversy began?
Yeah.
So what do you make of all this? What
do I make of it?
Yeah, what's the point?
The point of
they're
what?
trying to make, you
know.
know.
So you got to explain to the people.
No, they read the papers. They know.
Yeah, they know that NBC has banned promotion or commercials featuring your movie on their network.
Yeah, because this character, Don Ohlmeyer, he's the president of NBC, you see?
Yeah.
And he hates me.
Yeah.
But you've only met him one time, I understand.
I've only met him once.
So this is not a personal reason that he hates you.
Yes, he hates me personally.
But you like him, don't you?
I think he's a fair enough fella. I met him once. He seems like a stand-up guy. I don't hate anybody.
That's
right.
You
know Don Ohlmeyer?
I've met him a couple of times, sure.
He seems like a nice enough fella.
Yes, absolutely.
And I don't, put it this way. His best friend is O.J. Simpson, right? Now, if you can like O.J. Simpson, you can like me. You know what I mean?
I wonder what it is about you.
Feelings flowing up and down, picking up the pieces that you left behind, hitting a new type of flow, breathing in the smoke and clearing up my mind. The thoughts of you, I never knew what the hell you got me into. What do you mean?
Barbara Walters never listens to me. Barbara, are you listening?
Yeah.
I have to talk to Sherry Shepherd. Fortunately, we share views on dinosaurs. But I can never get that lady, the old lady.
You are really wild. I mean, you're wild in that show, and you're wild in person.
What?
Yeah. Don't you think?
No, I think you're wild.
it like on the set of that show with you?
What is it like? Well, what do you mean?
What do I mean? Well, because you're so average.
She thinks you're
normal,
wacky.
Well, I'm just saying it's hard to memorize. We're not walking around the set going, hey, you know.
So, unless you've been living under a rock, Star Wars. I do not understand why people stand in line for days and days and days. They can't see the movie in 2 weeks. I mean, they don't have jobs. In any event, so I went to see Star Wars. I have never seen any of the Star Wars, and I felt terrible about it until I learned that
I never saw it.
it.
Never saw the first
No,
one.
I never saw any of them.
No.
You never saw anything? You never wanted to see Star Wars?
No, I never liked them. I don't like those science fiction because my dad always hated them. And you know how you try to be what your dad, you try to be, you know what I mean? And I remember when I was a kid, I watched that Twilight Zone. Remember that show?
Yeah.
And oh my God, my dad hated it because it was too fantastical, and he thought I should be doing the chores. And I remember one time me and my brother were watching Star Wars.
All I said was, have you ever seen Star Wars? 10 minutes later.
This goes on. That's Norm.
I mean, we only have 2 more minutes.
I was just giving you a little backstory.
You were going to take steroids?
Yeah, but then I found out, you know that they shrink your testicles? Did you know that?
I thought that was the fun part.
You know what? If you look at this little action figure, I'm telling you.
Unfortunately, we're out of time.
Too bad.
And I have to say, Norm, that speaking as you just did, you fit right into this category. And we may just add you every day to our Hot Topics. Norm, you are
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We'll be right back. So try these words out. Droll, sarcastic, controversial, hilarious. Well, those are some of the words that are used to describe Norm MacDonald's character on his sitcom Norm. But as you will see in this clip, people may think twice before they use the words smooth or charming. Take a look.
Hey, Lori. Hey, look, I can see your underwear there.
You're supposed to see him.
Yeah, that's a little desperate, isn't it?
I'm playing tennis with Shelley.
You playing tennis with Shelley?
Yeah.
Hey, I have an idea that would even be more fun for you. If I played tennis with Shelley, while you, I don't know what you do, who cares?
And in spite of that, please welcome Norm MacDonald.
What's up, man?
Okay, Norm, you're Canadian.
Yes, I am.
So what do you think of this whole presidential mess?
Well, I hope that the Democrats don't steal the election from the winner, you know, but who knows?
You like George Bush, don't you?
I love George Bush, man. He's a good man, decent, you know, none of this. Yeah, he's, you know, he's not a liar, a crook, murderer, or anything like that. So it'd be good to get the. See, I think we should get the homicide out of the White House and get like a fresh start, because we don't want any more murderers.
I think we should just go on to the next question.
Oh.
Who are the murderers?
Yeah.
Oh, Clinton, he murdered a guy.
Yeah, you know, we're not allowed to, you're not allowed to put out no accusations without.
That's a little too far.
That's the way it doesn't work.
Let's just go on to the next question.
Yeah.
This is not my week. What can I tell you?
Oh, it's not mine either, and I'm being very nice, okay? Be a good boy. Now, Norm.
Do you never hear that?
No. Listen,
No,
we don't need
I
to
don't want
talk
to get
about
into
this.
this, and I don't want to hear it, and this is not the place to make those accusations, and you're supposed to be funny. Let's get on to the next
Exactly.
question.
So get with it. There you go.
This is a live show.
Not for nothing, Norm, but you have been properly chastised by Barbara, so I'm now going to ask the next question.
I thought it was a matter of record.
Shut up. Shut up. Look,
Okay.
let me do this, okay?
I'll tell you what's a matter of record. You will not be invited back if you don't shut up. All right, now. Let's talk football.
All right, manslaughter.
Let's talk football.
Do you know that you are a cis male? Have you ever heard of that term?
A cis male?
Cis male. C-Y-S-M-A-L-E. So what it means is that you are a man. You're born a man.
Well, as far as you know.
As far as I know. And you identify yourself as a man.
Yes.
That's a cis male.
Now, I don't understand. Where does that... Is this a new phrase?
Yes, it's a way of marginalizing a normal person. Some people really dislike that term cis male because a cis male, as you explained, is a male who identifies himself as a male, and they say, well, that's you shouldn't marginalize a person.
You need to be marginalized.
Is that
you need to, you need to be marginalized. It's a way to identify somebody who was basically, born, lives, and it's the same sex.
So you're a cis male.
What does a cis male mean?
This other person's a trans. So you're equal. She's a man that thinks she's a woman. You're a man that thinks you're a man. It's completely
so everyone's.
equal.
It's all fluid.
Yes, everyone is self-identifying.
Yes.
I am firmly on the side of womanhood now, but I am not a woman, nor will I ever be. 3 sentences later. I use the women's restroom because I am a woman. I changed my gender on my birth certificate to female because I am a woman. So there's a little confusion there, right?
Not for me. What's wrong with that?
Well, here it says, I am not a woman. When I was a kid, my dad would tell me that this man was a gold medal decathlete. Why, the greatest athlete in the world. And now I have to tell my kid that this man is a man. What the H? A guy told me that, I don't know if you've heard this, Bruce Jenner is going to go back, maybe, to being a man. Yeah. Did you hear that? That's an odd thing. Because I remember him, of course, as a woman. So it's hard for me to picture what he'd even look like as a man. I remember, because I'm from Canada, so I remember he was in the 72 Olympics, and he won the decathlon, which is the best athlete in the world, was a woman. And we didn't know at the time because he kept it secret. But I remember they put the gold medal around his fucking big juicy tits. And that to me is when he should have just gone, I'm a lady, and then that would have been good for the LGBTG. The community, the community. I don't know if you've been over and seen them and shit, but it's a nice community. And it would have been good. All the LGBTBL. I try to be inclusive of all the letters in the alphabet. But, then he waited. That's the problem. He waited till he was 65. That's when Bruce Jenner decided to tell us he was a lady. Now, I don't know about you guys, but to me, is there really that much difference between a 65-year-old? Yeah, at some point, you got to realize you're just some old thing nobody wants to fuck.
And come to think of it, I got addicted to you. Oh, no, no, no. And come to think of it, I need somebody like you. Oh, no, no, no. I need someone like you.
All right, a Las Vegas woman was arrested after hiding a stolen Rolex in her vagina. Well, now Bruce Jenner's just gone too far.
I don't understand it.
Well, the U.S. Olympic Committee announced that both Nancy Kerrigan and Tanya Harding will go on to the Olympics in Norway next month. However, in light of the recent events, Harding will be sent immediately to the penalty box for high sticking. In any event, the Nancy Kerrigan story continues to fascinate America. Here with a comment is Update correspondent Norm MacDonald. Norm?
What do you got? Thank you. Well, like all of you, I was absolutely horrified by the assault on skater Nancy Kerrigan last week. No one could possibly condone the idea of clubbing a young woman on the knee like that. But on the other hand, does anyone really like figure skating? The person or persons responsible for this mindless attack should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. But it does seem like figure skating is on TV way too much. Now, I, for one, am beginning to feel that this brutal assault is more than an isolated incident. Our society is rapidly falling apart. And this attack is just another symptom, like that Brian Boitano guy. I mean, what the hell's the story with him? You know, if he's such a good skater, why didn't he just play hockey? In any case, I think it's time that we come together as a society and make it clear that we're not going to tolerate thugs solving their problems with violence. And we're not going to tolerate TV executives who make us watch hours and hours of figure skating when there are good hockey games not even being televised. Now, I'm not going to get into that age-old argument of which is worse, violence or figure skating. I mean, that's not going to solve anything. They're both unacceptable and they should be eliminated. And then maybe one day we'll live in a world where we can walk our streets without being terrorized, and we can watch our TVs without seeing that Brian Boitano guy hopping around. Thank you, Kevin.
Norm MacDonald, ladies and gentlemen. Well, Whitewater continues to dominate the headlines and is the subject of tonight's homophobic perspective. Here is Update correspondent and homophobic guy, Norm MacDonald. Norm?
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you. First of all, let me say I have nothing against homosexuals. I think homosexuals are no better or worse than any of the rest of us. I just happen to be afraid of them. It's no big deal. Now, I'm here to talk tonight about this so-called Whitewater scandal. You know, unless you've been living in a cave for the past year, I'm sure you're familiar with every tedious and confusing detail. Does the media really believe that the American people even care about some land deal that took place over 15 years? Hey, Kevin, can you give me a little room here?
What?
I'm trying to do this Whitewater thing, you know, you're kind of close.
You're sitting exactly where all the Update correspondents sit, Norm.
Oh, is that right, huh? Well, that works out good for you then, doesn't it? Wonder who came up with that policy, huh? Anyways, my point is that I think it's about time the media began giving the same kind of coverages to issues like health care. Did you just move closer to me?
What? No.
It looks like you're closer.
No, Norm, I'm in precisely the same place. Now just get on with your editorial.
Hey, maybe we should share a chair. Is that better for you? We could sit in the same chair? Maybe that'd be better. Save on chairs. That could be your new policy. Man. Anyways, the media, I have always felt, should not shape public sentiment, but rather reflect it. And I think that in the case of Whitewater, the public is saying loudly and clear, can I help you?
What?
Is there something I can help you with?
No, look, Norm, okay, I've had about enough of this, all right? So why don't you just do me a favor and finish your editorial, please?
All right, hey, maybe you could do me a favor, too. How'd that be? Maybe you could gaze lovingly into somebody else's eyes for 5 seconds? Would that be all right? Anyways, the media has always served an important role in this society, and that has been the role of watchdog. But who, I ask you, who is watching the watchdog? I mean, we all know who's watching my crotch, right? It's Buddy Boy over here, but no president has ever undergone the intense scrutiny that Bill Clinton has. I wonder how well any of us would fare if our lives were placed under the magnifying glass. I thought you were married or something.
I am married. But look, Norm, I've had it. Obviously, you're implying something about my sexuality, and why don't you just come right out and say it?
No, I'm not implying anything. I'm talking about Whitewater. I'm not implying anything. Why don't you just go over some of your fake news, and I'll finish up here.
No, I don't think so, pal. Just say what you have to say in my face. Be a man.
I am a man. I'm a man. I'm a man. I am a man. I'm just saying that you're kind of that way, right? I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but you prefer your own gender, that's all. You partake of the love that dare not speak its name, right? That's all right. That's no problem. I mean, you find the idea of being with a woman abhorrent to your very core. That's okay. You know, you're homosexual, right? You're gay. I mean, you're a gay man, right?
No.
No. Methinks thou doth protest too much.
Look, why don't you just leave?
Fine with me.
Norm MacDonald, everybody. Michael Jackson was in a Denver courtroom this week. He's being sued by a woman who claims the pop star stole her song Dangerous. Here with a comment is Update correspondent Norm MacDonald. Norm, what do you got?
Thank you, Kevin. Well, I'm getting sick and tired of people attacking Michael Jackson, impugning his integrity and damaging his reputation. I don't believe a word of it. Now, I'm not saying that Michael Jackson is perfect, far from it. He may well be guilty of methodically seducing a string of young boys. I'll give you that. But Michael Jackson is no plagiarist. It's just not in his character. Now, let's look at the facts. This 40-year-old woman claims that Michael stole her song. Now, ask yourself, where would Michael Jackson come into contact with a 40-year-old woman? He hangs out with young boys. He's a child molester, for God's sakes. It's ridiculous. And I, for one, am getting tired of people dragging his name through the mud. But this woman apparently wants to make a few bucks, and she doesn't care who she hurts in the process. Isn't it odd that she's the only one who's ever accused Michael of song stealing? That we've never heard this accusation from anyone close to Michael? Like his maids and butlers and bodyguards and the children he regularly has sex with? Isn't that a little odd? But I guess the facts don't matter very much in the dirty little game of character assassination. You see, even if Michael is vindicated in court, as I'm sure he will be, he'll always carry this with him. He'll no longer be Michael Jackson, the child-molesting superstar. He'll be Michael Jackson, the song stealer. I feel sorry for Michael. But you know who I feel more sorry for? Is the children. The children around the world who look up to Michael as a role model, who performs original material and sometimes has sex with him. Maybe they are the real victims of this frivolous lawsuit. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, Norm.
Allegedly.
Norm MacDonald, ladies and gentlemen. I think we know the alleged thing.
You've got your podcast, it's still going, but I clicked on it the other day. It says Norm will be back in May.
Oh, yeah.
What's going on?
Well, I do it for a while, and I go, I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. And then they're like, he's on hiatus.
Yeah. Is that what that is? Or is it just that you may or may not come back?
Yeah, I don't know if I will or
okay.
You used to have a thing on the internet.
Oh, God.
Yeah, people would come on. Yeah, the podcast. That's right.
I promised myself I would never do the podcast again.
You also promised yourself you'd write a good book.
Okay, now.
I mean, there is always one other option.
There's another option? What's that?
You ever heard of the Queensboro Bridge?
I'll do the podcast. I just do it for a while, and then
it's fun to watch.
Tired of it. It's fun to do, man.
Yeah. It's so great. I think it's just the people who do it with Norm
are awful.
Are awful.
Well, no, Sean isn't. Sean does it with me.
Well, there's one guy. There's always one guy. It's the rest of the people.
The future's good.
It's those awful others. Do you enjoy doing the interview stuff with people on the podcast?
Yeah. Well, we got good guests, so that I was interested in, but. It's harder. Like, you guys obviously have to just interview everybody.
Not necessarily.
Here. What?
No, we don't.
You don't?
No, you're a special choice. We could have said no.
I'm amazed that people. I don't know how I would do with people that
you don't care about.
Yeah, like I'm always astonished by, especially a guy like David Letterman, who I think would be even less interested than we would be. You know, or the way he can pretend to be interested.
Right,
Like,
and actually
that's
have.
the
Yeah, but
real-
don't you think he has a little more juice or say on saying, hey,
No.
this guest
No,
is here?
no.
But there's every once in a
Yeah.
while they have to take it. He has to take
Oh
it. Yeah.
no! On an average guest, you got to
If they're in town, they're promoting.
3 guests a night.
Yeah.
There's not that many interesting people, and actors are not interesting at all. I mean,
And now, did you start getting pressure from anybody? Because it's your podcast, but you start getting money from the outside coming in. I think it was Jerky Links, which might have explained the ballooning. Was that right? You had the Jerky Links thing. You had to try to convince me you're a Jerky Links
to get
guy.
what?
Just get what they want, like guests from them.
Sean and I, we liked just older guys. A lot of people wanted young people.
But they're not interesting.
Older guys are the most interesting. And I always think in show business, you get the old guys, they don't care what they say anymore.
Right.
They're out of the business.
They'll tell some stories.
And they tell stories about guys you care about.
Yeah, they'll name names. They don't care at all. They're seconds away from dying.
Yeah.
So who's the best one you had on there? Because I've seen some that were
we
just
had
fantastic.
we had this guy Jack Carter, and he did the most craziest thing. You remember?
Well, I also still, after meeting him, have no idea who Jack Carter is.
Jack Carter was a comedian like the Catskills guys,
way
right? Way
old,
back in
like
the day.
90.
Yeah.
So he was talking, and he said he was talking about the war, and he was
Which
like,
one?
The Second World War.
The
I
big
go,
one.
you were in the Second World War. He goes, yeah, it was a lot of fun. I go, the war was a lot of fun? And he goes, well, I never got to go over. I never went over, He goes, I got a lucky break. My whole unit was going to D-Day, and they all died. And I didn't go because I got deathly sick the day before. And then I go, oh, man, it sounds like you were faking it as a joke. And then he goes, I was. And then he's like, I never told nobody that.
So he finally confessed.
Yes, that he is a deserter and a traitor to our country.
But you learn that kind of stuff on Norm's podcast,
Yeah,
which
Norm's
is great.
Deathbed Confessions. That'd be a good show.
That'd be pretty awesome. You just show up at hospitals, and they think it's to bring them up, but it's really just to get them to admit
We've had
some
a
stuff.
couple.
You admit some stuff, and then you pull
man.
a plug out of.
Man, do I want to follow you around with a camera? Hey, I'm here to pull the plug there. You got anything to say?
So, Rickles.
Must be especially. It was a joke about a guy because it was such a good story. There's a guy who had surgery, and I can't remember the joke.
I can't either.
Do you hear my
3 months in?
Do you hear my Wake Up Maggie? Maggie May?
Yeah.
By Rod Stewart.
Yes, I do.
Well, you want to hear my impression of Gordon Lightfoot doing that? First
Absolutely.
5 lines
Canadian
of the
hero,
song?
Gordon Lightfoot.
Yeah.
She told me your riddle I'll never forget. Then she left with the answer I've never found yet.
Wake up, Maggie, I think I got something to say to you. It's late September and I really should be back at school. I know I keep you amused, but I feel I'm being used. Oh, Maggie, I couldn't have tried anymore.
I was like he was here. That was unbelievable.
He has a very unsexy voice. It only works that time if you have a sexy voice.
Where does he rank in the Canadian pantheon?
He's pretty high up
there. Is he higher than Bryan Adams?
Oh, yeah. He's higher than Bryan Adams. I guess the highest is like Neil Young. He's the great-granddaddy of them all.
I don't think I knew that Neil Young was Canadian.
Oh, yeah, man. I'll give you even a better story, than that. Every story's better than that story. No, but he was, his father, Scott Young, was a sports reporter for the Toronto Globe and Mail.
Yeah.
And he was one of our better sports scribes, He was a credit to the fifth estate, as they call sports writing. No. But anyways, he was an old fella, you know, a tough old bird, but a beautiful writer, you know, as was his son. So he was estranged from his son because he became a hippie. And then one day, Scott Young, at 55, was driving down the 401 in Toronto, and the song came over the radio, Old Man, Take a Look at My Life, that he had written, you know, for his father, and his father phoned him, and they've been close ever since. Isn't that beautiful?
Wow. I never knew what the genesis was behind that song.
Yeah. Old man, take a look at your life.
Emotional.
I'm a lot like you are.
Wait a
second. Okay, whatever.
I need your love. You free my mind. I need your love. Yeah, you free my mind.
Gordon Lightfoot, one of my favorite singers and performers. He's also a close personal friend of mine. Phone him and ask him. He'll tell you. You know, if Gordon were here tonight, and if he dressed himself, and if he played the piano, and if his favorite singer were Rod Stewart, you might hear something like this.
Wait, are you gonna have Thanksgiving though? Thanksgiving's coming up.
Oh yeah, Thanksgiving. We're gonna have a lot of time. We're gonna go see my uncle. I saw my uncle the other day. Oh, my uncle, he's having troubles.
Why is he having trouble?
You know my uncle Basil?
I don't know him.
No, but I've talked to him before.
Yeah, you've mentioned him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's having troubles. His memory's not too good. You know, and it's not. Thank God, it's not Alzheimer's or anything like that. But when a guy gets old, he starts forgetting. His memory starts, he doesn't, you know, remember.
Right.
So I went to him, you know, I went and talked to him, you know, and I said to him, because I heard he got this new medicine for his memory at the doctor's.
Yeah.
So I said to him, I said, Uncle Basil, I said, how's that memory stuff working out, the medicine? He says, it's going good. I said, what's it called, that medicine, memory medicine?
That memory medicine, yeah.
I said, what's it called? What's the name of it? He goes, oh, the name of it. What is it now? Again, I can't remember now. He says, what's the name of that flower you give to people? And I said, I don't know. What, a tulip? And he said, no, not a tulip. He said, it's what is it now? It's a kind of a flower people wear. I said, is it a carnation? I don't know, Uncle Basil. He says, no, what the hell is it called? It's red. I said, I don't know, a rose? He said, yes. He said, Rose, what's the name of that medicine that the doctor gave me?
You rapscallion. Now listen, we want to talk about your uncle, because every time you come on the show, you have a story about your uncle who lives up in Canada.
Oh, yeah, he's a Frenchman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you always have like a little story about him. Jean-Luc.
Oh, yeah, he's a crazy character, that dude. He originally visited New York City. Hello?
I'm just having a drink. I can listen to you and have a drink. It's not like I went like this. Hold it. Ooh. Ah, liquid. Huh? I'm still here. Let's see if I got this right. You've got an uncle, lives up in Canada, named Jean-Luc.
Jean-Luc.
Occasionally he visits. Once time he visited New York.
So I'm living in New York, you know. Jean-Luc, I'm excited. Jean-Luc's going to come by, my crazy Frenchman uncle. So he gets in the cab, right?
When he gets to the airport.
Yeah, when he gets to the airport, the cab driver picks him up, and the cab driver says to him, "Hey, Frenchman," he says, do you like riddles, you know? So my uncle Jean-Luc, he's like, yes, I love the riddles. That's how he talks. He goes, I like nothing better than a riddle. So the cabbie's like, all right, here's one, right? So he says, here's the riddle. His brothers and sisters, I have none, but this man's father is my father's son. So my uncle goes, I don't know. Right? So the cabbie goes, it's me. It's me.
Oh, yeah, makes sense.
Oh, he thinks about it. Oh, by God, he says, that's a good riddle there. He says, I have to tell my wife, Mary Claire, when I get back to Gaspé. That's where he lives, Gaspé.
Right.
So he's like, take me back to the airport. And the cabbie's like, what? Right? The cabbie's like, I thought you wanted to go visit Norm then. No. I go back to the airport. All right, you know, I have to tell Mary Claire. Seems odd, right? Gets back on the plane, flies all the way back home there to Gaspé. And he gets back, right? Runs in the door. Mary Claire, where's vous? You know, where are you, Mary Claire? Come on down here. I have a riddle for you. She goes, oh, Jean-Luc, I love the riddle. She's a woman, high voice.
Michael Jackson was visiting. Yeah, all right.
So, you're going to love this riddle. How was New York? Forget about that. I got the riddle. Brothers and sisters, I have none. But this man's father is my father's son. She goes, I don't know. Who is it? Some cab driver back in New York.
You didn't mean to do that, did you?
No, I didn't.
Be honest, you didn't mean to do that.
At all. I just got to the end. That guy, man, I always tell my uncle, you shouldn't curse so much. You know?
Oh, man. All right. We're going to pick up the pieces.
Yeah.
So, you got a week off.
Yeah, I got a week off coming up. After this show, I got a week off, so it's going to be great.
Do you see your family much?
Every break, I like to go back and see my folks, you know, and also my uncles and aunts and all that, you know. They're great people. The old people, you know, what I find about the old people is...
Just in general.
In general, they had so much more interesting lives than we do, you know. Like, you know what I mean? Like we, you know, we go out, our generation, we go, okay, hey, let's go to a movie, and then we'll do the laundry and get some quarters for the laundry, and then we'll have read the Sports Illustrated, you know, and whatever, right?
Right.
But these guys, they had lives, you know? Where they, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Yeah. So anyways, for instance, my Uncle Phil. You ever meet my Uncle Phil?
I didn't meet your Uncle Phil, no.
Oh, you didn't? He was...
Yeah, we don't know each other that well. Remember?
That's true.
No, I've not met your Uncle Phil.
He's a good man, Uncle Phil. So he was telling me, you know, he's just one of these guys that has so many lives pushed into one. He just does so many things, you know? And he was telling me, he says, he's a kind of a jack of all trades, you'd call him.
Yeah. That's a good phrase.
Yeah, he's a jack of all trades. So he was telling me, he said, the problem is you're not really appreciated for any single thing because you're so good at so many things. You understand what I mean?
I hear you.
Yeah. So he said to me one time, he says, Norm, he says, we were just walking through his town, you know, of Monkland, Maine he lives in. And we were just walking through the town. He's an old fella, you know?
Right, one of the old people.
Yeah, he's 80.
Yeah, 80, okay.
80 years young, he says. So he goes, Norm, you see that barn over there, he says to me. I look over, there's a barn. I go, yeah. He goes, I built that barn with my own hands, all by myself. But he goes, do they call me, do they say, there's Phil, the barn builder? No, sir, he says. I said, yeah. He goes, look over there, you see that weather balloon? He says, you don't know this about me, Norm. He says, I was one of the first men ever to fly in a weather balloon.
Wow.
He says, but do they say, hey, there goes Phil, the weather balloon pioneer? No. He says, look over there's a bakery that I started. You know, that dirty bastard Bob has it now. but I'm the guy that started that bakery. And I go, all right, easy. And he goes, I started that bakery and I was the best baker, but does anybody go, oh, there goes Phil, the great baker? No, he says, let me tell you something, Norm. He says, you have sex with one goat. And he says, people then, they say, there goes Phil, the dirty goat.
Get rid of that. We don't need that microphone anymore, do we? Wow, well, I do want to meet this man someday. He sounds fascinating.
I need your love. You free my mind. I need your love. Yeah, you free my mind.
Let me ask you quickly. We haven't talked to you in so long. I want to ask you about your family.
My great family. I love them all.
How's your? We used to talk in the old days. You and I used to spin some yarns about Uncle Hector. How's Uncle Hector?
Oh, Uncle Hector. Uncle Hector.
He's Polish too, I'm guessing.
No, he wasn't Polish.
Oh, okay.
No, he was from my cousin's side of the family, and he was a great man. My uncle, you know,
Right.
he was an old fella. He actually rode the rails during the Depression.
Oh.
You know, he was a hobo.
Hobo.
As you might call him. I
Yeah.
don't like that term, but whatever.
Tramp or whatever,
Yeah,
what
he's a
have you.
tramp, Railroad bum. And, but he wasn't a bum. He was just out. He was a good, honest man during the Depression, searching for work.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, he had no money, so he'd travel the country trying to find work, and he actually rode the rails. Uncle Hector, and he told me it was an interesting story. He'd go through. This was in Canada, and there's a town called Kitchener in Canada, and the railroad cops were tough, boy. They were tougher than real cops. You know, they had a law of their own. The railroad cops.
I feel like I should be tucked into bed listening to you. Anyway, a law of their own, those railroad cops.
But there was not a railroad cop tougher than Kitchener Leslie. Oh, boy. He was well known. He was well known for beating hobos to death.
Really? He
Yeah.
found a hobo on his train, he beat him to death.
Beat him to death. And so what the railroad bums would all do is, as Kitchener approached, of course, oh, hey, Norm, how you doing? So,
Wow, such focus on these stories.
that wasn't a mirror, that was another guy
Okay,
named
there's a
Norm.
guy named Norm.
Yeah. So the railroad bums would all hop off before they got to Kitchener to avoid being beaten to death by Kitchener Leslie.
Yeah.
Anyways, my Uncle Hector, a good man, you know, and he walked into a mine one day. This is a story for that they think the young people could learn from.
Don't go mine hopping, kids.
During the height of the Depression, where there was absolutely no work, my Uncle Hector walked into I won't say the name of the mining company. It was McIntyre Mine, and he walked in. He had his lunchbox with him and his work boots, and he said, "Sir," he said, "I want a job." And they said, "We have no jobs." He said, "Well, 500 people work here at McIntyre Mine." He goes, "I don't think there are 500 men here better than I." He says, "As a matter of fact, I don't think there are 200 men better than I." He says, I think you'd be strapped to find 100 men better than I." And by golly, he got the job. What do you think of that?
That's a great story.
Now,
I'm sensing there's more. Now back to Kitchener Leslie.
Yeah.
The most dreaded.
No. Uncle Hector.
What?
No, we
I'm
want to talk about
sorry, I'm
Uncle
trying to help you out.
No, Uncle Hector.
Dad, where's this story going?
Uncle Hector worked in a mine, and it's a hellish job, the mine, as you well know. Darkness, you know.
It's dank. It's
dank.
Yeah.
It's coaly. It's a lot of
what?
Well, you're in a coal mine.
It's not coaly. It's coal-ridden.
It's
coal-infested. It's not coaly.
It's coal-infested. So he worked in the mine, and by God, he worked hard. And after a week of working hard, he said to the shift manager, he said, "By golly, I'd like to have a lady. I work hard, and where would I find a lady here in town?" Well, they said to Uncle Hector, they says, we have sex with animals here. By God, says Uncle Hector, I'm not going to do that. Why, I'm a normal fellow. Well, then be to your own devices then. So,
Be to your own devices?
Yeah.
Wow.
Uncle Hector continued working in the mine. He worked hard, and he worked long, and he worked for a low wage. But he was a man. And Uncle Hector, after a couple of weeks passed, he started to get a little itch, you know, as you and I say.
Right.
You know,
Right. Well, when we're thinking about the
ladies,
the ladies,
know?
yeah.
And but he kept it under control. He went again. He said, "Are you sure there's no ladies here?" "No, we have sex with animals." Ah, my God. 6 months passed, and Uncle Hector couldn't take it any longer, he told me.
Right.
He said, "By God, I just had to, I'm just a man, I'm weak, you know, I'm not a saint, you know, and I was born in sin, I suppose, and I couldn't resist. I just needed it." So he said he walked by a pasture, and there was a pig.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
That's terrible.
Yeah, it's terrible. And so Uncle Hector said, well, he said, I walked up and I began having sex with a pig. And he said, all of a sudden, he saw all the miners, like, around him, you know, looking at him. They go, "Uncle Hector, what the hell are you doing over there?" And Uncle Hector's, like, indignant. He's like, "What? Well, you're the guys that told me that you have sex with animals." They're like, "Uncle Hector, you damn fool. That's Kitchener Leslie's girlfriend." Of all the
animals to have sex with.
You don't want to have sex
not with Kitchener Leslie's pig. No, that's terrible.
Not Kitchener Leslie's pig. Kitchener Leslie's lady.
Oh, yeah.
Dad would always tell this joke, and it was about a little boy called Dirty Johnny. You know, and he'd be in class. You ever heard Dirty Johnny?
The Dirty Johnny jokes, yes.
Heard the whole series.
In this in this joke, he's not dirty. But anyways, the teacher has a thing, and the teacher says, "Today in class, we are going to have a little experiment. You're going to tell a story from your real life, and then afterwards, you are going to tell the moral of that story." You know? So Sheila puts up her hand, and the teacher says, "Sheila, what's your story?" So Sheila says, "Well, my dad works at the hatchery, and he took some eggs, and he put them all in a basket. All the eggs he put in one basket. And then he put them in the horse and buggy, and off we went to town, and the earth was uneven, and the eggs broke. And the teacher goes, "Well, that's an all right story, but I can't understand what the moral would be to that story." So Sheila says, "Well, the moral is, don't put all of your eggs into one basket." So the teacher says, "Well, by God, this is exactly what I'm looking for and what I was hoping for with this experiment."
Yeah.
And anybody else have one? So Marjorie puts up her hand. "Okay, Marjorie, what's your story?" "Well, my father works for the hatchery." Most of us.
Most people in that town work in the hatchery.
Worked at the hatchery.
"Thank God for the hatchery," she says. Or where would we be? So she says, "My father, he sells chickens. And he knows that eggs become chickens." See what I mean? So he had to count his chickens so he could go and sell them in town. So he had 9 chickens and 5 eggs. So instead of saying he had 9 chickens, he added the 5 eggs. You see, he counted them as chickens. So he said, "I have 14 chickens." So he took them, Sheila says, and put them in the horse and buggy, and off they went to town, but the land was uneven. The chickens sure survived easily. They frolicked. The eggs broke. Well, the teacher says again, that's a story, you know. But what on earth could the moral of that story be? Well, Sheila says, if that's her name, I forgot. She says, "Don't count your chickens before they hatch out of the eggs."
Right.
Teacher says you could probably shorten it a little. So, but that's great. And that's exactly what we're looking for. And then she looks at the back of the class, and by God, there's the upraised hands, as you say, fucking Dirty Johnny.
Fucking Dirty Johnny. He's going to ruin the lesson.
So the teacher, inside of her head, her thoughts are moving around, and she's like, God, I don't want to hear Dirty Johnny say it. This is going so well, but at the same time, I took a vow and I became a teacher that every student. All right, Johnny, let's hear your story. So Dirty Johnny gets up and he says, this is a story about my Uncle Terry. He didn't work for the hatchery. He didn't even like people that did. He was in Vietnam. And he lives on the disability checks he got. Uncle Terry was not a popular man, not even among those he worked with. And I suppose we've all heard of people who've deserted from their battalion. But I don't know if you've ever heard of a battalion deserting a man. That's what they did with Uncle Terry. One day, Uncle Terry awoke in the middle of Da Nang, and everybody was gone. He was alone, and they'd left him 3 bottles of Jack Daniels and some weaponry. So, Uncle Terry got up, says Dirty Johnny, and he downed the bottle of Jack Daniels in 2 slugs, and he threw it down and smashed it into the jungle. And then he walked, picked up the 2 Kalashnikovs and 3 or 4 Glocks and a couple of hand grenades, and off he walked into the unknown, the jungle, his fate. Came upon a village, and from the village came people. Now, were they Charlie, or were they the people that Terry was sent to protect from Charlie? Uncle Terry didn't know. But he knew he had to do something, so he took another swig from the bottle, and he let loose. Took that Kalashnikov, and he let it sway like a farmer would a scythe. And the bullets came, and just as hay would fall before a farmer, so the people fell before Uncle Terry. The men, the women, and by God, even the children. And finally, Uncle Terry stood alone in the mud and the blood and the guts and only at himself. He took a long swig, and his hand brushed against his pants, and he felt wetness, and then he felt shame because he realized he had urinated himself in fear. And then, upon closer inspection, he realized it was not urine. It's ejaculate. And his shame was replaced by pride. And the teacher goes, holy fucking shit, what the fuck? Fucking kind of fucking story is that? Like, we just heard the hatchery and shit, and now this? She goes, Uncle Terry, well, Dirty Johnny, what on earth could be the moral to such a story? So Johnny thinks about it for a couple of minutes, and he goes, well, I don't know, I guess. Well, I know one thing. You don't fuck with Terry when he's had some drink in him. And he's uncorked the jug. You stay away from Uncle Terry. And he doesn't like anybody that works at the hatchery either. You remember that. You tell your parents that.
Wow.
All right, he is the anchor of Saturday Night Live's Weekend Update. He also does a mean Bob Dole. Is there any other kind? Norm MacDonald. Hey, buddy. Thank you for coming. He's a rock and roller who sold over 45 million records. He could kick Slim Whitman's ass. Our very own favorite bat out of hell, Meatloaf, is right over here. How are you? Welcome to California.
Thank you. Hi, kids.
All right. Well,
all right.
Now, you're a musician. Did you watch the American Music Awards last night?
No, I didn't.
Okay, well, you should have. It was on this network. Well, I watched that last night, and I watched the Super Bowl, of course, like every other red-blooded American the day before. And I was thinking maybe I'd get an acclamation from this panel right to start off. Could we have people in show business and sports stop thanking God for what they do? God could give a rat's ass if you won an award or won a game. Like God cares about winning.
No, wait a second.
That's not what God's about, right?
The Cowboys are playing.
Well, I thought God was very, God is fair. I would say if you're God, right, I would say one of your qualities would be fairness, right?
Above all others.
Yeah. And I thought this was a very fair Super Bowl because Green Bay won by exactly 14 points.
They covered the spread, in other words, right?
Exactly. Nobody won, nobody lost.
Well, what does that have to do with God?
I don't know.
But you know what I mean? Everybody gets up there, and the first thing they say is, thank God, I want to thank God. But I don't see that God is involved. I think it's their hubris to even say such a thing.
I think it's wonderful that they have faith in God, and they look to Him for everything to do.
I agree with you, Linda.
Oh.
By that. In fact, I thank God that I'm here tonight with you, Bill.
But by the same
Don't you think so? I think so. Hallelujah, we're here tonight. Hallelujah.
He hopped up on goofball. I think.
But by the same token, the Patriots should lose their faith in God now.
Exactly.
They're being tested.
I think that God has partisan. I mean,
I don't think God watched the American Music Awards.
Exactly. I mean, he didn't get to where he is by giving a damn about it. The other thing is, how about this showboating that they all do? That these players, they celebrate the most inconsequential accomplishments. A guy puts on his chin strap and he's running around and routine tackles and plays. Now, my question here is also the dancing, you know. Now, let's be honest. In that Super Bowl, the only white guy dancing was Fred Astaire.
With a broom.
Right.
He's the only one not getting paid for dancing.
Well, I mean,
Hey,
the white guys can't
sport.
dance. They probably couldn't do
No.
that. I mean, that
They
shuffle
do chickens and gooses and things like that.
The white guys?
Yeah, Tony Saraguso, who plays for the Indianapolis Colts. He does the goose. That's where he gets his name. Somebody from Indianapolis.
But do you think that's more of a black thing? I mean, is it a black thing
They
that
do
we don't?
better.
What?
They
No,
do
they're just better dancers.
Yeah, they're better And I think, you know
Goose
what?
really wants to dance. Go ahead.
What?
I think it's appropriate. I like it. It's a celebration. They're happy. They're having a good time. They're number one. They're
I think you can go too far. I think, when you dance in the end zone, that's fine. When you bump heads with others. But, sometimes, I heard about one guy killed his wife and a waiter. You know what I mean?
You're referring to O.J. Simpson.
I'm not good with names. I just heard the story.
And there is another big sports story in the news. It was last week, a football player named Walt Sweeney. Do you remember him playing? You're a big fan. No? I don't either. But you know? Okay, who did he play for? The Chargers, I think? All right. Okay. Anyway, he played 20 years ago, and he sued the NFL, and he won. The judge awarded him a couple of $1 million, and he said when he played, they made him take amphetamines and painkillers so he could get out there, and they encouraged drinking to be one of the boys, and now he's a drug addict from this stuff. That's what he said. He said his life has stood still for 20 years, and he's got the big mutton chop sideburns to prove it. And he's going to get money for this, and somebody else is going to take responsibility. Anybody,
Yeah.
against
I always have something to say, Bill. No, am I against it? No, I'm not against it.
Really?
No.
You're not against what?
I'm not against the court awarding him $2 million. Because if you played football in that era, you ever heard anybody say, and everybody here said it, I don't know what I would do if I wasn't doing what I'm doing. And
Yes,
it holds really true for professional football players. And in that era, they wasn't making that much money compared to what they do now. Steve Young, how much does Steve Young make a year?
Oh, lots.
A lot. Well, he took 20 cortisone shots at halftime in the Philadelphia game.
Who did?
Steve Young.
20 cortisone?
20 cortisone shots in his ribs.
Wow. His ribs must have been really high.
Yeah. So, this guy...
But that's his choice.
I understand that. I understand that, but he wanted to play, right?
But in 20 years, he could say, you guys got me hooked. But it was his choice to play. And isn't it the same with this guy, Walt Sweeney?
But he's being paid to play.
He's being paid, right. He's being...
Right?
I agree.
He's being paid to play. In that era, if you didn't take the drugs, you weren't going to be paid to play anymore.
But you just said, I don't know whether you're arguing the meat or the loaf here, because you're...
I think I said the same thing at the same time.
I'm confused.
Are you confused? Did I confuse myself?
You're saying it's a matter of choice.
Exactly.
Bottom
Thank
line.
you.
But it's not really a matter of choice. I agree with
Did
Meatloaf.
some of them turn it down?
That's easy, since like our president, he's on both sides of the issue.
No, I'm not on both sides.
He's saying that you really have no choice. You have to do this to stay competitive.
Oh,
when I ran track when I was a kid,
oh, don't brag.
And when it started, when I ran track, I was good. And then all of a sudden, people started jabbing what they told me was B12 into their ass. And it turned out to be steroids, but I didn't know that.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, and then
and they did this to you?
No, they didn't. They didn't jam anything in my ass. But all the guys were jamming B12 in their ass. I don't know. I shouldn't be saying jamming. They were injecting.
Anyway. This is peacock syndrome in action right here.
But he would not have played had he not taken the painkillers.
Well, what
Did you see North Dallas 40?
Yes, I did.
That was that was some kind of Hollywood exaggeration, but I think it was close to the truth.
But the implications for the rest of society are tremendous in this. Isn't that true?
I agree. I have to believe there are some that turned down the drugs, that didn't take them.
Yeah, and they don't play.
Well, we don't know. I'd like to hear,
No, I'm telling you, they don't play.
Well, that should be illegal.
Would you feel differently if it was, say, a college football player 20 years later said, I'm illiterate because I played ball and they kept passing me through? Would you feel differently about it? Is it the drug issue, or is it the idea that somebody just went along?
I think that's a good analogy, but... But first of all, that's college. I mean, you are paying a college to educate you. So if they really, if they tried to and you just didn't do it, that's your personal responsibility.
So it's down to personal responsibility for
I
you,
think it is a
bottom line.
personal responsibility case. What about the hundreds and hundreds of football players who aren't suing, who did this? Why? How come their lives were able to
Some people have more of an addictive personality than others.
And the rest of us should pay for that?
Yeah, I think the guy with the really addictive personality is the one you should give $1.8 million to.
In all walks of life, forget football.
Right.
Aren't people compromising every day to keep their jobs?
But couldn't Jan Michael Vincent say show business made me what I am today? Right? Show business makes people do terrible things. Like be on this show. All right, we're out of time in this area. We'll come back and talk about...
I need your love. You free my mind. I need your love. Yeah, you free my mind.
Military, because an important ruling came down last week from federal judge Shira Scheindlin, who said that they could now buy at the PX on the base dirty magazine, if you will. Big military support here. Yeah. It's a big military state.
There's some deprived military personnel we can see.
She also included videos in the ruling saying they were also protected by free speech, although the plots were kind of thin. No, anyway, it was called, the act that she overturned was called the Military Honor and Decency Act, which for years had banned the selling of this kind of material because they said in that act that they thought it would encourage sexual harassment. When now some people are saying maybe the opposite is true. A quick session with the pet of the month, and maybe that soldier is...
Yeah. You get sleepy. Don't you get sleepy?
What do you mean?
You don't want to rape somebody when you're sleepy.
Why are you sleepy?
Well, after you watch the porno. Listen, I like...
Norm, you have a strange metabolism.
Maybe it's those B12 shots you got.
Right. No, I
You're
like
in high
porno.
school.
I like porno as much as the next guy, you know? And I probably like it... I probably like it 100 times as much as the next guy. But although, you know, I have been watching... this is amazing, because porno is my favorite kind of movie to watch. And yet... I've seen some pornos lately that my buddies have shown me. Have you seen these ones with all male casts? Gay pornos, they're called. These things are horrible. And there's thousands of them. They make thousands of them. They have not made one good one. And I'll tell you what the problem with it is. Quite seriously.
Yes, sir.
Quite seriously, the problem with these gay pornos, and every one, guys having sex with each other. Who the hell wants to see that? You know?
Maybe you're shopping in the wrong section of the store.
It's not for me.
I wonder if they can't have those in the military base then.
But
don't ask, don't tell, don't watch.
Right. That's an interesting question. I don't know if this ruling includes gay material on the base. Do you know?
Well, you know, it's really ironic at a time when they're trying to sensitize the soldiers. They're sending them to training on how to treat women with respect, and now they're stocking the PXs with porno magazines. It doesn't make sense. I mean, it's a mixed message, wouldn't you say?
Why?
Well, because these magazines degrade women. They do.
And I'll say one thing.
Why don't you just stand up for this segment? You know, like in the...
This is a little warning for people. Playgirl magazine has not got any girls in it.
I give up.
No, please, this hunk is done. But I don't see what you say. But they don't all degrade. You don't think Playboy
well,
degrades
I don't look
women,
at them.
do you?
Obviously, I don't look at
Well,
them.
then how can you speak
I've
with
read
authority
about
if you
it,
don't look
and
at it?
I have a general idea of what's going on.
Have you
there.
ever seen? Oh, you?
Yes, I have, but I don't. You know, I don't go out of my way to look for them. No, I don't.
Well, Norm has some material. In
yes,
his,
I'll ask
dressing
Norm
room.
next time. I'll call him and.
He's got
see what he
thousands of
thinks.
videos. But they're all male. You might enjoy that.
No.
Hi, I'm Norm MacDonald, and now the fake news. Our top story tonight. In an emotional press conference this week, Bob Dole announced that he was resigning from the U.S. Senate, where he had served for nearly 3 decades. Dole said he regretted leaving the Senate, but needed to focus all his energies on a goal many had once thought impossible: getting Bill Clinton reelected. Following his poor finish in the Iowa caucuses, Texas Senator Phil Gramm is withdrawn from the presidential race and will soon announce his full backing and support for first-place finisher Bob Dole. In response, Dole said, "I am screwed." Six of one, half dozen of another. During an interview 2 weeks ago, Bob Dole said to a reporter, quote, "Whoever wins in New Hampshire will probably be the Republican nominee." When approached by the reporter for a quote following his stunning loss Tuesday, Dole locked himself in his campaign bus and pretended to be asleep. Speaking in Florida earlier this week, Bob Dole launched his harshest attack yet on President Clinton. accusing him of a, quote, naked failure of leadership and moral confusion in the fight against drugs. In response, President Clinton said, "Everything you say is true, but hey, guess what? I'm still going to win." In less than 24 hours, the first presidential debate of the campaign will be underway. And today, both candidates were at Hartford's Bushnell Auditorium for some last-minute fine-tuning. President Clinton is still deciding which themes to emphasize in his opening remarks, while Bob Dole is deciding whether to pull the fire alarm or phone in a bomb threat. According to a new CNN poll, Republican candidate Bob Dole now trails President Clinton by 15 points. A Dole campaign spokesman says that despite these numbers, it is still possible for them to reach their ultimate goal, to lose by 7 points. Meanwhile, Bob Dole brought his struggling presidential campaign to New Jersey, vowing, in his words, to prove Yogi Berra was right when he said, "It ain't over till it's over." Reached for comment, Yogi Berra said, "It's over." This week, presidential candidate Bob Dole sent his top campaign aide to Dallas in an effort to convince Ross Perot to drop out of the race and endorse the Dole ticket. Emerging from the 2-hour meeting with Perot, the aide announced, "I'm voting for Ross Perot." At a campaign stop in Florida Thursday, a frustrated Bob Dole told a reporter, quote, "Something's wrong with America. I wonder sometimes what people are thinking about, if people are thinking at all." At which point the reporter said, "Can you repeat that? I was thinking about how I'm voting for Bill Clinton, and I missed that last part." Yesterday, in a dramatic finish to his White House bid, Bob Dole began a 96-hour, 15-state, non-stop campaign tour that will take him right through to Election Day. Political experts are calling the grueling marathon a, quote, last-ditch effort, while medical experts are calling it, quote, a suicide attempt. In an interview this week, Bob Dole said he is strong enough to handle the pain of losing the presidential election, although he did admit that the shock of winning would give him a giant heart attack. At a rally in California this week, Dole urged voters to ignore polls which have him trailing President Clinton by double digits. In addition, Dole asked them to ignore newspaper headlines next Wednesday that say, "Dole loses in landslide." Embattled House Speaker Newt Gingrich may finally have solved his financial troubles. On Thursday, Gingrich announced that former Senator Bob Dole has loaned him the $300,000 needed to pay his ethics committee fine. And today, more good news for Gingrich. Dole has already forgotten he loaned him the money. This week, after 50 hours of failed budget talks with Bill Clinton, a frustrated Bob Dole said, quote, "We ought to have a new president," and added, "and he should be a really, really old guy."
Yeah, I know, Art. You've had your fun now, Norm. You're out of work.
Well, I thought I'd just do a joke about you. I had a little
Yeah, what
joke.
you've been doing, those, I've been missing a lot of them, but your fun's over, the election's over. Unless there's a recount, you're out of work.
Oh, no. Okay, well, I guess that's it. Maybe we can go have a beer or something. How'd that be?
You are with me.
All right. Bob Dole, everybody. Good night, folks. Hi, I'm Bob Dole. And pipe down, you damn hoodlum. Well, it's great to be here at Woodstock. As you know, Bob Dole is reaching out to the youth of America, and sitting here in the audience, I've had the privilege of meeting quite a few of you young people, and I learned something very important about the youth of America. I don't like you. A lot of you can go to hell. Well, regardless, I'm here to talk about the MTV Viewers' Choice Award. Pick up the phone and cast your vote for the best video. Remember, vote for Bob Dole in November. Bob Dole's the candidate who gives you free cigarettes. That's right, free cigarettes. There you go. There, smoke them if you got them, you damn dirty hippie. There, free cigarettes. Dole in 96. Peace out.
These broken pieces I hold in my hands don't have a chance to mend at all. Before they get thrown into chaos again, I try to pretend I'm whole enough to stand in this world so unsteady, to witness the heartache of many, many, many.
no chance of you running for president again?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, really? Because, you know, it'd be good for me. Kind of help you keep you on the front pages, you know?
Now, believe me, Norm, running for president doesn't always keep you in the front pages unless you, of course, take a dive off a podium.
Yeah, that did get a lot of coverage, didn't it?
Yeah, and thanks for noticing here on Saturday Night Live. I appreciate it.
I don't write a lot of this stuff.
I do either, yeah.
The greatest offense of all. I didn't write it. Was it really, was it fun working with him? Was it exciting?
Oh, yeah, because he's my hero. He's been my hero for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and, you know, to meet your hero. Do you have a hero?
Norman Fell from Three's Company.
That's your hero?
Yeah. Mr. Roper. Yeah.
I know Mr. Roper?
Yeah.
That's not a good hero.
That's all I got.
Better than this guy's hero is some gay porn actor. Anyway.
What are you talking about? What?
I don't know.
Insane.
No.
What are you saying?
Let me tell you something about gay porn.
What?
Seriously.
It's fine.
That was a long one. Okay. No, I'll tell you something about gay porn. Seriously.
Okay.
That doesn't mean a guy's gay. I'm not saying that. Because a guy watches gay porn all the time.
You cut to a single. Just of Norm, really?
Gay porn. I enjoy gay porn. I'm not gay. Gay porn is a genre that just cuts across all demographics. You know? Young people, old people, straight people, the gay people enjoy it. Everybody likes gay porn. But this guy really likes it. No, I don't know. I'm sorry.
I heard patriotic music playing behind that speech.
No, that's not what I meant to say. I meant to talk about Bob Dole. This guy's my hero.
First ruined my reputation, you know.
I'll tell you
in
something.
passing.
This guy is not gay. If anybody's not gay, it's this guy.
Oh, I'm so...
Seriously.
I am so totally straight. Oh, yeah.
No, you are.
I love the ladies.
No, he does. No, he likes girls. He likes girls.
Does this happen every time you try and talk about Bob Dole? You start talking about gay porn.
I know, I don't know what that was. But listen, the Bob Dole, I love this guy. He's my hero. He's always been my hero for like the last 18 years since I was very young. And I always liked Bob Dole. And so it was an honor to... Now it sounds weird because I was talking about gay porn. But
I'm questioning your ability to continue here.
Yeah.
After but go ahead.
You know what he did? He gave me his Purple Heart. He has 2 Purple Hearts, you know. And so when we were doing it, he put a Purple Heart on my lapel because he had one on his lapel.
Oh,
so it was very moving,
that's
you know,
cool.
to have Bob Dole.
Were you going to say Michael Jackson again?
Yeah, Bob. Why do you have to point everything out? Nobody heard.
I ain't heard you. You heard me, right?
They're gonna
like you're just having a conversation and they're all like doing tax work. Well, they're sort of paying attention. You know? There's a third of the audience that is doing other stuff, but for us,
he gave me a Purple Heart.
You're going to try and continue this joke? All right.
It's not a joke. It was a very moving thing. It was one of the most moving things that ever happened to me. I got a Purple Heart, and I was standing there with Bob Dole beside me in this Purple Heart, and, you know, it was just a very moving thing because, you know, I don't know. You don't have, you know.
That's cool. I would think that would be a moving thing.
Yeah, it was very moving because you think of how he got the Purple Heart, you know, and you know, he took it.
He's being serious now.
I'm being serious. It was a very moving thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's cool. All right.
I'm not very good with the stories about the moving things. The actor who appeared in commercials for many years as the Marlboro Man has died of lung cancer. Asked if he'd contracted the disease by smoking, a spokesperson for the tobacco industry responded by saying, "What's that behind you?" then ran away. The U.S. Tobacco Company has announced that between now and December 31, it will donate a portion of its sales, at least $1 million, to the National Volunteer Fire Council In return, U.S. Tobacco asked that for the rest of the year, everyone pretend that cigarettes don't cause cancer. According to newly released confidential memos, presidents of the nation's largest tobacco companies decided as early as 1964 that cigarettes should contain increasingly higher and higher levels of nicotine. Asked to comment, a spokesman for the tobacco industry said, "Really, that's interesting." Then got plastic surgery and moved to France. A new study funded by tobacco giant Philip Morris claims that the nicotine in cigarettes may actually help prevent Alzheimer's disease. Executives at Philip Morris caution that the study is not conclusive, but just to be safe, everyone on Earth should start smoking. Earlier this year, the Liga Group paid out more than $750 million in a court settlement when it was admitted that its cigarettes are addictive. And this week, the tobacco company unveiled its new warning label. It reads, "Warning, don't try to sue us, we don't have any money left." The FDA has approved a drug used for anti-depression to help people quit smoking cigarettes. Although it should be noted, the drug is crack. So... Richard Thomas of Chicago is taking a novel approach to getting his wife Sally to quit smoking. He is suing her in U.S. District Court, asking a judge to order her to quit. Legal experts say that considering all factors, Mr. Thomas actually has a very good chance of never having sex with his wife again. According to new medical studies, exposure to secondhand smoke dramatically increases a non-smoker's risk of getting heart disease and lung cancer. Jubilant tobacco company executives say the study proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that non-smoking can kill you. That one wasn't very good, but try to laugh anyway, because it helps Farley have a little rest. The most restrictive smoking ban in the nation took effect this week in New York, and already the city has gained over 9,000 pounds. Well, the Learning Annex in New York is offering a new course to teach women how to smoke cigars. The fee to enroll in the class is $100. The fee to watch the class is $200. A new study says that people who quit smoking have healthier lungs. Yet another groundbreaking story from the pages of the medical journal, Duh. A recent consumer poll showed that Hershey is America's favorite company, while Philip Morris is America's least favorite. In the middle, the company that makes chocolate cigarettes. Right in the middle. Postal authorities removed a cigarette from a photo of blues artist Robert Johnson to help dignify the musician in a new stamp they've issued in his honor. This isn't the first time the post office has altered a photograph. In fact, the original photo used on the Elvis stamp was based on this photo. King enjoying a hoagie.
Get off me! Get off me! I'm the real Annie! Get off me, you fat bastard! Get off me, you fat bastard!
Oh, that was fun, wasn't it?
Craig used to be on a show called The Drew Carey Show.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And you did the show right next door. You had the NORM MACDONALD show right next door.
And then I remember you were like, we had trailers, and I'd always be in my trailer. I like to go to my trailer and smoke cigarettes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And then you'd be in your trailer, and you'd be writing movies, and then directing movies, and then you'd be writing books.
Yeah. It was because I was trying to not smoke.
But people are waylaid by your laid-back image. They don't realize what a furnace of ambition you are.
Hey, that's true. I am. I zig when they zag. That's what it is. Yeah. Listen, it's good. You don't smoke anymore. You look like healthy. You
no, I quit smoking. Yeah, I read that on the side of the thing.
What did you say? It's dangerous?
It can kill you.
No!
Yeah, I realized, like, I was smoking all the time, and it's like you smoke and you don't even get high. And
well, you can't. They're not mutually exclusive. You can get high and smoke. It's not like you have to make a choice.
No, I'm saying the cigarettes do not.
Get you high.
Yeah.
Well, you can. There's a substance you can put in them though, if you want.
Oh yeah, no, I don't do drugs or alcohol. Or
Neither do I.
You used to be. I thought you were alcoholic.
Gosh, Norm.
Tom has drank for as long as I've known him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I drink, yeah. I'm starting to smoke, too.
You've started smoking?
I'm starting now. I'm just starting.
It's harder than you think. You should probably start with a patch.
Yeah. No, I actually started with the e-cigarettes.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, I was smoking those for the last couple of months.
I think you actually were.
Yeah, and then gradually built up sort of an addiction to the nicotine.
So you work backwards.
But, yeah.
Do you think we stop saying N-rig, which means, or N-rich, or nigger-rich, or nigger-rig, which were terms that some people are going, were they terms? Because, well, it's a fine. Or do you think we just shouldn't use people?
What they say when you, stop with that joint there, you're getting spit on it.
So, no, hold on a second. So most people would say that we stopped those things because it was egregious.
Yes.
I know what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I know.
And so you have to say,
another example.
All afternoon, as we do this, you've been playing on and off with a cigarette. Do you smoke?
I quit smoking a year ago.
Good for you.
Thank you. You quit smoking.
Yeah.
And when you smoked at the Tomorrow Show,
we puffed. We didn't smoke. We puffed.
You probably caused many children to start smoking.
So you hold a cigarette and you never light it?
Yes, it helps me. I have an oral fixation, the doctors tell me. That never. I'm like Beretta.
Are you doing this to be a funny thing, or do you really have to kind of
I'm doing it. No, I feel that I have an oral fixation. You know about that.
I don't have that, by the way.
If it's
I don't
not
like
this, I go straight. You don't like sucking cock?
I don't like sucking cock. I mean, I have done it.
Yeah, I wouldn't like it. You know why I wouldn't like it?
Why?
Aren't those animals, like inside the cum? Like I remember
the sperm, you mean?
Yeah. So to me, like it's a bunch of animals and stuff.
Take me on a journey. Take me far away from this life. I'd leave it in a hurry. Let's run away before morning light.
Okay, since nicotine is such an addictive drug, do you think someday you'll have to have a prescription to buy a pack of cigarettes?
Well, they always bring up the Constitution and talk about how we should still have the right to a militia and all that. But let's face facts, this country was built on tobacco growers. So, if you're going to start changing, if you're not going to change one thing because it comes from way back then, you can't change this either. There are farmers out there who make a living. Tobacco is one of the crops that got this country going. So, no, I don't think they'll ever make it illegal.
Yeah, no, they shouldn't make it illegal. I know.
I think Norm's backing me up on that. What motivated you to quit?
Well, I guess I read this thing about how it was like a phallic symbol, and my doctor went in. He said, you probably have an oral fixation, which you know what that means. Let's not kid ourselves, right? So that's why I always smoke like cigarettes instead of cigars, because if I'm going to have I like a little white thin cock, you know?
Are we back to cocks again, huh? I go away to Ohio, Middletown, the center of the universe, to take a nice clean call, and then I space out. I'm thinking, I can't listen to Norm for a second. I got to get a time cue here. I come back, and you're talking about having a thin white cock in your...
I don't have a thin white cock. In my cock, you mean?
No.
In my mouth. No, you misunderstand. What I'm saying is this. I'm just saying...
Don't make the mistake of thinking I fucking listen to you.
I just want to make it clear about that cock thing. I was just saying, if I ever was gay, if they suddenly made it mandatory or something, then I would choose the smallest cock, and I would like a guy that came fast. I don't know. I thought the subject was cock.
No, cocks is next week.
I'm sorry.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Norm MacDonald, ladies and gentlemen.
There was an audition. It was Stephen Colbert and Tracy Morgan.
Wow.
And so Stephen Colbert did, like, you know, he was in a suit and he had like he was so professional. He goes, now, you know, Geraldo Rivera, and he put a mustache and he did everything was funny and well written. And then Tracy, it was Tracy's turn. And his entire thing was he played a character named Biscuit, who was a child.
Hi, my name is Biscuit, and my teacher, Miss Soto, said for me to read y'all a Christmas poem. This is it. The name of my Christmas poem is, This is My Christmas Poem.
My name Biscuit, and then when I went, so then that night we're at dinner with Lauren. You know, you have that dinner, and he's like, "What do you guys think?" And I'm like, "Well, obviously it's Colbert," and everybody else was like, "What about Biscuit?" What? But then he succeeded. You know, he didn't.
When you did that
for a long time, he didn't succeed.
You started, everybody knows you got your big break on SNL. Do you remember your audition? Because I remember your audition.
How you remember?
Because I was there.
You was?
Yeah, you and I were both there in the final callback going to network in 1996.
I never worked with you. Oh, you didn't get the job. My bad. I'm sorry you didn't get the job. I'm sorry. Yeah, I remember seeing you in the ghetto.
Yeah.
And I said, what happened? What did y'all do?
The ghetto was writing for Norm MacDonald on Weekend Update. Because that's what I ended up doing that for 1 month, writing for Norm. Yeah.
Oh, you was over there. That was good.
Yeah, first 1 month.
That was a good time.
The best story he told, I said, what was your most, like, secret fun thing that happened at SNL that, like, you know, like, what was some inside shit? And he goes, Smigel and I, Robert Smigel. If you don't know who Robert Smigel is, he's Triumph the Insult Comic Dog. He's the voice and the genius behind that. Smigel's a fucking phenomenal genius writer and comedian. He goes, Smigel and I, we used to write sketches for Tracy, because we knew Tracy Morgan. We knew Tracy, you know, he was bad in table reads. He couldn't read for shit. You know, he's a fucking stumble through words, you know. So one time we wrote this sketch that we knew was going to tank. Lauren hated it. And we showed it to Tracy anyway because we knew he had trouble reading. He had someone helping him read. He had bad time with S's. So we wrote this sketch about this guy who's like a gay animal handler named Brian Fellows. Do you remember that sketch?
Yeah.
Brian Fellows?
Brian Fellows spent 4 years in Thailand as a volunteer for and later director of the Southeast Asian Animal Rescue Project. He subsequently served as Director of Animal Operations at the San Diego Zoo and Undersecretary of the Interior for Wildlife Management.
Brian Fellows, Brian Fellows, Brian Fellows, Safari Planet.
And he goes, if you look, the best part for us was it was Brian Fellows, 'S, Safari Planet. It was 3 S's in a row is the sketch that we pitched. So in the room, even though the sketch was bad, we knew Tracy would go, Brian Fellows, this is Brian Fellows, this is Safari Planet. And we knew we would crush in the room. He goes, and everybody lost it. The sketch, he was like, the sketch was terrible. But Tracy would go, Brian Fellows, this is Safari Planet. And Norm goes, and he goes, that is the funniest thing. We used to fuck with Tracy all the time.
I'm Brian Fellow! Yes, I'm well aware, and I didn't mean to insinuate anything by that. I apologize.
Oh, that's okay. Let me tell you, I once saw a video of a monkey washing a cat. That's crazy!
Okay. All right, this is nuts. You've clearly overstated your credentials.
I'm Brian
wasting
Fellow.
my time here.
I'm Brian
out,
Fellow. Good, go. And take that monster with you and tell him to stop smiling at me.
Some of you may have heard I had an amazing week last week when I got married. And I've had such a great time that I decided to let them show the video of my wedding. So here it is.
Was cash.
Here I am talking about the caterer. He did a really wonderful job.
6 months ago.
Well, I never said cash.
The deal was cash.
Here, I'm sure this will cover it. It's from the spellings. What are you doing? Turn that thing off. Connected to our senses. Found a way to let you in.
Probably no institution in this country is as burdened with the problems as the American prison system. Here to update Here to comment is update correspondent Norm MacDonald. Sorry, Norm. Hello.
Thank you. You know, I've always been afraid of going to prison, and I was thinking about it the other day, and I realized that what scares me most about going to prison isn't the loss of freedom or the stigma or even the separation from family. For me, the scariest thing about going to prison is, it's the anal rape. And it's always kind of puzzled me that they never seem to, touch on that during the sentencing. It's the worst part of the whole deal, and the judge doesn't even mention it. There's probably guys who go to prison and don't even realize what's in store for them, because they're not as streetwise as you and me. Can you imagine that? You're sent to prison, the first night there, there's the anal rape thing there, the next day you see the guy in a prison cafeteria there, and you go, hey, buddy, hey, I got a bone to pick with you, pal, hey. Let me tell you something, you were way out of line last night, way out of line. It's ridiculous. How'd you like if I did something like that to you, huh? How would that be? No, you wouldn't like that too much, would you? No. Let me just say, that was one of the most selfish, inconsiderate things I've ever been involved with. What were you thinking? Or were you even thinking? I mean, what's got into you? I turn my back on you for a second, you pull a stunt like that? It's ridiculous. And another thing, don't be telling Johnson I'm your bitch. I'm not your bitch. That's crazy. I'm not even gay. I tried to tell you that last night, but you wouldn't listen. No, you wouldn't listen, would you? I have a good mind to go to the warden about this. It's crazy. And you know what hurts the most, pal? You know what? I trusted you. That's what hurts the most. Well, actually, the anal rape hurt the most, but trusting you is second. A distant second, I'll tell you that. Anyway, I'm so angry I can't even talk to you right now. I'll just leave you with this. You got a lot of growing up to do, pal. A lot of growing up, I'll tell you that. Anyway, that's what scares me most about going to prison. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks, Norm. How you feel?
Now, what else do we have here? Oh, a curling stone. You know what these are made of? I always took them for granite. Last time I take a joke from Martin Short. All right. You're Canadian. This is an incredible thing I read. The curling, which we get excited about every 4 years.
Phenomenal.
That is not a renewable. Do you know what those are made of? The curling stones?
The stones?
I don't really know.
Aren't they goiter?
I've always taken them for granted. Hey, we'll be back with more in a moment.
Well, how about them Winter Olympics? They're finally underway, so we've got a lot of great stuff to look forward to the next 2 weeks, like hockey and, just hockey, really. I was watching last night, I saw speed skating, and my goodness, could the outfits they wear be any tighter? Holy Lord. There was an East German woman, I swear, you could see the outline of her entire penis. It was... Oh, my goodness.
all kinds of sports celebrities in the audience tonight.
I know that in this day, nobody's gonna change. You won't ever leave. On my mind again, I'm still not tired of it. Can make you want me. And I might act okay, say things will stay the same. Say I'm all out.
The Olympic Committee has been dealing with this issue forever. You know, back when I was competing in the 70s, they would, all the women, especially the Soviet women and East German women, had to get saliva tests. Right. Yeah, remember that?
I remember.
I saw
they would wear, their outfits would be so tight sometimes you could see their penis.
Yeah, the Eastern Bloc.
I wasn't looking down there, but I'm glad you were. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna try this.
Do you like hot sauce?
Oh, I hate it. But you know, you gotta try new things in life.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you're right. Whoa! Son of a gun, that's hotter than a $2 pistol. Man alive.
Well, welcome to Phoenix. How long have you been in town?
I got in yesterday and I burned myself all over.
We said, what were you doing?
I know, it's hotter than a $2 pistol in this town.
See your little peeling a little bit on the nose?
Yeah.
So you don't come here often in the summer, is that what you're saying?
No.
Yeah, it's a good plan not to come in the summer.
And
it's nice every other
People leave
month.
in the summer, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They scurry out.
Spend a lot of time in Southern California, San Diego.
Are you drunk? Because all you did was ride a cooler and you're sweating.
I am. Well, it's hot it's hotter than a $2 pistol
Well, he's got like
in here.
12 layers on,
Yeah,
I think.
I thought it was going to be really cold.
Well, you're from Canada. This should be springtime for you.
No, I know I'm from Canada, but you know I'm still a human being. Like it's not like we evolved differently. Yeah, no, I'm from the frozen north.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets colder than It gets colder than a...
here it comes. Get your finger on the panic button.
No, it gets colder than a vampire's demeanor.
Okay, that's better. Wow. Surprisingly cerebral.
Why you going high? Push me to the side. Just keep going on and I ain't getting tired. Yeah, you try to crucify all the good inside. You go and call 911, but I already died. Yeah, worry about it. Say now, what you say.
You said this is the coldest you've ever been. You're Canadian, so are you okay with this?
I've been colder than this. I've been colder than a vampire's...
Go on.
That's like
We're
an
waiting.
8 a.m. joke.
We can do it at 7:19. The stage is yours.
Which brings us to two notable comedians and two friends of Gilbert's. And Gilbert, you might have to do the driving on this one. Let's start with the late, great Norm.
Yeah, I remember doing Norm's podcast. And, you know, as always, it turned with any of my comic friends who would turn like deranged.
Mm-hmm.
And he was very funny with that. He'd always talk with like a sneer, you know. It's like and I remember right after I put that photo up a few times. It's one of my favorite photos. Afterwards, after doing Norm's show, Norm and I joined Jeff Ross and, of course, Bob Saget.
Yeah.
And I remember that being a night of just nonstop laughs.
You could tell even from the still photo
Yeah.
that you guys were ripping it up.
Yeah, it was just so much fun.
Truly original, truly original. I never met him. You know, it's funny. I'm in comedy a long time, and I know a million comedians, and I've gotten to work with a million comedians, and for some reason our paths never crossed. And we wanted to get him on this show, Gil, as you know.
Yes.
And he was Norm. So he was strangely strangely hard to pin down, or non-committal, or could do it and then couldn't do it, and.
I don't really know. You know, I know I'm working.
One of the truly great comic minds, though, and that his last appearance on Letterman, where he got so emotional, and in ways it sounds corny. I felt I knew him through his work, and obviously a lot of mutual friends. That Letterman appearance, really.
Gil, your appearance on his podcast, that whole podcast was so good. It was so funny.
Yeah, let's not diminish that, Gilbert. It made history, your appearance, and also the Einstein episode.
Yeah.
With Norm.
Yeah, I remember when I was on Norm's podcast afterwards, I just felt like I ran a marathon. It was just got crazier and crazier.
Netflix owns that show now, and they're not available to the public, unfortunately, and they're sitting on them. Hopefully one day it would be great if that podcast was re-released, because
there's that Bob Einstein episode is also legend.
Yep.
What can you say about the guy? I mean, a really rare, truly original comic voice.
Really.
And I love
such
Kurt
a
Ferguson
loss.
more than life itself.
He, by the way, Norm's book, based on a true story, not a memoir, which is so funny. The audio book, he narrates it. So if you miss Norm and you've never heard him reading his book, it's brilliant.
Now I got to get it. Yeah, I regret never meeting the man. And Gilbert,
Same.
I'm glad you had such wonderful times with him.
Yes, he was a lot of fun.
It's a big loss. It's a loss for this
podcast
too.
A total smartass.
Yeah, I wish our paths had crossed. So let's move on to Bob, last but not least, which was a blow and not expected. And I will say that I had just reached out to Bob. We just recorded our 400th episode a couple of days ago, Gilbert and I reached out to Bob and I said, will you come and do this with us? And he said, I think I'm on a plane that night. And we were going back and forth and trying to arrange something. And then I sent him the link, which has been shared online. I sent him the link to Don Rickles' estate auction. Did you see that?
They
posted
I bid on a couple things.
You bid on a couple of things?
And I got none of them.
Bob's face was on a couple of items that, like there was pictures of them together and a poster or something. And I said, hey, you might want to bid on some of these things. And he wrote me back and he said, this just makes me sad, actually. And he said, but life goes on. And I had said to my wife, I have to call Bob. I have to text Bob. We moved the date of the 400th episode, and I got a phone call from my sister-in-law probably 20 minutes later telling me she just heard that he was gone. It was very shocking, and still is.
I had just spoken to Bob like a few days before he died. And we were on the phone, and as always, the minute anything turned at all sincere or serious, we turn it to just complete filth and make it reverse, and it was always fun, and it was like, I always remember, like when the Aristocrats came out, people were saying, "Can you believe Bob Saget talks like that?" And to people who knew him, they say we couldn't believe he could speak any other way.
It wasn't Danny Tanner.
No.
I didn't know him that well. I certainly didn't know him as well as Gilbert. But but that was part of him. But there was such a gentleness to the guy.
Yes.
Too. I mean, his humor was so edgy and so dark and it could be so scatological, as you'll hear because we're rerunning the second episode that we did with him. But he didn't want to injure. He didn't want to hurt anybody. He was very, very, very sensitive guy. Did he always tell you that he loved you before he hung up the phone, Gilbert?
Yes.
As Dara shared with me, there was a real kindness to him that you couldn't miss.
And I remember I got a call from Jeff Ross who said, oh, sad news, Bob Saget died. And I swear, I thought, oh, this is going to be a funny, sick joke. And I said, oh, okay. And I was waiting for the punchline. And then he said, no, seriously, he died. And I still have a hard time grasping that.
It's a gut punch. It really is. Gilbert went. You made the rounds. You went on CNN. You went on television. You said some lovely things about him. But 65. I mean, it's too young. It's too big a loss for.
And it seemed like he was another one starting out again. Like he did a live show.
Yeah.
And he was really excited to be getting back to live performing. And
going back to the second podcast with him, and he started that podcast, Bob Saget's Here For You. And it did seem like he was entering another phase of his career and another phase of his life. It seemed like he was more wistful and trying more to be of service. I mean, that's why he was pleasant to be around. There really was no show business at all to the guy.
Yeah.
And he struck me, again, didn't know him well, but he struck me as also having a sadness about him. Do you think that, Gil, did you feel that?
Yeah.
A depth and a sadness about him.
And he also, he had two sisters who died.
Yeah, that's right.
One from scleroderma, which was a charity he did loads of work for.
Yes, to his credit.
And see, there's another thing that shows that what I've always said about comedy and tragedy. He made, I remember being with him a few times where he made jokes about his sister. Really deranged stuff. But then you see, he loved his sister.
Of course.
And his family was totally traumatized by it. But he could just be completely sick. I think if you could communicate with the dead and get in touch with Bob Saget, he would make completely bad taste jokes about his own death. He was that kind. He would just really
staying true to his art to the end.
Yes.
To the bitter end. It's a big loss for us personally, for Gilbert and Jeff and Stamos and obviously a lot of his friends and fans.
And I put up a photo too. I was on the beach with Jeff, and we're holding up a phone, and on the phone is Bob Saget, because we're sitting on the beach and said, "Hey, let's call Bob."
I saw the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not much else we can add. Rest in peace, Bob.
Black is great. Black is fantastic. Right?
Yeah, I think
Black is fantastic. Even though, they're not black anymore. But then again, we're not white, right?
Right.
We're pink like his fucking asshole. We're all,
Seen it.
We're all the colors of Bobby's asshole deep down.
But I do. I think you took your pants down.
On stage?
Yeah, he got pretty naked on stage.
Well, I wanted to prove a point. I said that, skin color is only that's your skin color, and we're all pink on the inside, so I showed him my butthole.
I remember now.
Yeah, and that was my opener, and he didn't like that.
It's like Lenny Bruce.
It was a real opener.
Beautiful. It's beautiful. It's like you could do that as a poem, like some slam poetry. That's what you should do, Bob. You should go on like
slam poetry?
Slam poetry thing in New York City. Well, they have these, I saw a wonderful play. A guy went on a trapeze over the audience. This was at the height of the AIDS epidemic. And he cut himself, and his blood, his AIDS, his AIDS-filled blood went all over the audience. We never cheered because we were afraid to be politically incorrect, so instead we contract AIDS.
But wait, you were at the show?
Yeah.
You were being sprayed with AIDS blood?
Yeah, we all got full-blown AIDS within the
terrible circus. Did you get your money back?
No, we pretended it was good because we'd rather get AIDS than be called homophobe. But this guy said one of the most disturbing things to me. Yeah. He said he was very into the S&M, gay S&M scene. And he said he loved when guys with AIDS would fuck him. He said something like, when they pumped their death up my hot ass. I was like, oh, wait.
This looks like a badge of courage, almost.
Yeah, it's real Stephen Crane moment.
Oh, man.
It was sort of sex meeting because I'm not good with condoms. I don't mean to get graphic, and I did. See, I'm an older guy. I grew up before AIDS was invented or whatever. I remember
one of the worst inventions ever.
I know. I remember it was one of those things, someone's talking about herpes, and they go, "There's another thing."
Dr. Gerald AIDS with his fucking idea.
Yeah, and the AIDS candy had to go away for the Provenza show.
And the last time I saw him was at the Comedy Store. And he was uncharacteristically emotional.
Yeah.
Like when we parted company, he was. And there's a picture of me and him and like the back of Chris Rock said, I put it in my special. That picture that's in the end of the closer was the last time that I saw him.
The last time I saw him with any regularity was we all went on a tour to do just stand-up, like
the three of you guys.
it was
I had a couple other guys.
funny because we had a text chain of a bunch of us, and we would all fuck around. And then one time he was arguing with Schneider about something and about stand-up, and he goes, "I'm the best comic out of all of us," and everyone went, "Yeah."
I saw him at the SNL 40th, and I didn't know he had cancer or anything, but I remember as soon as he saw me, he was like, "I love you, Molly." Just he blurted out right away.
Yeah.
And I think I was like, oh, I just had a sense of like, I could feel that he had this kind of urgency to say exactly what was on his mind in the moment.
Right.
Because maybe he'll never have that moment again.
Sometimes he'd be late in the morning because we're all taking off, and I would just go, "Hey, no, man, we got to get to this place," and he'd give me a look, and then after he passed away, then I realized he was giving me a look like, "What the fuck do you want from me? I'm going through some shit, man." But he'd be like, "Yeah, all right, you know."
On the bus or backstage, he would come in and do bits. He wanted to keep. I like that, you know, when people are still funny and he's a good laugher, and that's always nice when a comic is a good laugher too, instead of just only going one way with it. They like to crack up with people, and that was a fucking blast. Did you wear a cowboy hat the whole time?
He bought a cowboy hat, and all of a sudden, cowboy hat walking around.
Weird, yeah. Like, he could do that.
He did get emotional a lot, though. Like on the whole tour, he would just all of a sudden get really teary-eyed and stuff, and he'd be like, "This is wonderful!" Like this, the tour itself, and like hanging out, and we'd have dinners and breakfasts and shit. And he was more. He'd just be so much fun to see. He had so much energy to hang.
Do you remember the last time that you had seen him?
I hadn't seen him for a while, but the last time I saw him was at a bar by our place, and he would watch. He was a big gambler, but the last time I talked to him, when I was quarantined in Minnesota, he would I'd text him and I go, "Hey, what's up, dude?" And he goes, "What? Who's this?" And he would do this all the time. I go, "It's fucking Nick, dude." And he goes, "Nicky, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "Nothing, I'm quarantined." And he goes, "You didn't stand up?" And I'm like, "No, the fuck? I wasn't doing stand up." And he goes, "What's your plan?" And I go, "I don't know, I'm going to kick it here, and then I think I'm going to go to Key West." And I go, I might just retire though and just move to Reno and just get like a residency, and then I'll just live in Reno and just work there, just be like an old comic.
Yeah.
And he goes, sort of God, he goes, that's a good idea. And I go, yeah, I don't know, whatever. He goes, no, maybe I'll join you. We'll both headline Reno. And I go, dude, Reno's fucking a mess. I go, no, I don't want to do it. So I go to Key West. A month later, he calls me. He goes, hey, what are you doing? And I go, I don't know. I'm in Key West. What's up with you? And he goes, when are you going to Reno? And I go, dude, that was a joke. I'm not moving to fucking Reno and retiring as like a comic. And he goes, fuck. I thought it was a good idea. And I'm like, no. And so that's the last time I talked to him. And then his closest friend, Lori Joe, I hit her up after Norman passed, and I was like, hey, are you doing okay? And she goes, one of the last things before Norm died, one of the last things he talked about was moving to Reno with you.
No.
Yeah, and I go, are you serious? She goes, yeah, he was like, he really wanted to do that. And I was like, oh, and then that made me cry again. And yeah, it was just, that was Norm. It was awful.
Damn.
I'll tell you, I have so many Norm stories, but this is one of my favorites. And I was on tour, me, Sandler Spade, Rob Schneider.
They were just about to start, and Jimmy said, can I talk to you, buddy? I said, of course. So we went back, and he said he was very broken up about it. He didn't want this. But he said, I don't know what to do. And I said, you think I shouldn't do the show? He said, it's just, I have so much pressure from people, He goes, people are crying. I said, people are crying? People are crying? He said, yeah. He said, like, senior producers are crying. I was like, good Lord. I go, well, bring them in and let me talk to them. I don't want to make people cry, Right. I didn't even know I had the capacity to make people cry, to tell you the truth.
Right.
So I felt so bad from that comment. And then, so Jimmy said, come back whenever you want, but I think it'll hurt the show tonight. And I said, well, Jimmy, I don't want to hurt your show. That's the last thing I want to do is hurt your show.
He said, Jimmy Fallon came up to him in the dressing room and said, people were crying. And he goes, people are crying. Oh, my God.
People are pussies.
Well, and that's why Norm
people
was
are
like,
fucking pussies. We don't need to accommodate you because you're pussy and you're crying.
Well, we have, it's like emergency fire departments. Now there's emergency torch departments. Something happens. People, they run out with a flaming torch. Let's get them out and go.
So he was literally at the show in the green room.
Because Jimmy went back to talk to him, Jimmy Fallon, and said, like, what do we do about this, buddy? This was the article that just came out.
The other thing I never figure out with all this stuff is Norm MacDonald comes on, does his sit-down bit, makes everyone laugh, and then leaves. Is there anyone in the audience with their arms folded going, well, I can't enjoy this after reading that article he did several weeks ago? Or is there who would even know? Did you guys know?
No. And that was the other thing in the article. It said, and I'm sorry I don't have it in front of me, but one of the producers, I believe, suggested that Norm opened the show with an apology. And Norm goes, it's not my show. What do you mean I opened the show with an apology? So they were just trying to figure this out, and then they just canceled it.
Well,
yeah.
He's now my least favorite Jimmy.
I tell you, if there was just a
now,
remember now?
Yeah.
I don't think I said now.
You did actually.
I don't think I said.
We can
check the tape. Check the tape.
Remember, the old instinct would have been like, "Hey, let's lead your segment with this. We'll handle this in a funny way, but you can still get in whatever you need to say if you want to say it. Then you do several jokes, and we get the hell out of here. We'll go for a nightcap."
Well, and that's what they said. They said, "Do we open with this? Once you're sitting down?" And he said, "Well, that kind of ruins the mood of the jokes. Why don't we address it at the end?" And they said it was just too much of a thing.
Listen, I'm sorry. Fallon is a pussy because Fallon ultimately is in charge.
He just had the thought like, oh, wow, Jimmy Fallon took the pussy way out.
He is a pussy because I've been around, Jeff's been around. Ultimately, when the guy with his name on the show says, hey, here's what I want to do. I really feel like this is what we're going to do. You can kind of veto override anyone. It's probably a little less back than it was with, back in Letterman and Johnny Carson and all that kind of stuff. But You can just go, I'll handle this. We can do this. I'm not going to walk down the hall and tell this guy who's been in the business 10 years longer than me that he can't come on and crack wise because he was actually truthful when somebody baited him into a question, probably, for the Los Angeles Times. So he's a pussy. Whoever was crying should just be fucking shit canned. You want to know about people who need to be shit canned? You want that person on your crew? And by the way, no one was crying. And if they were crying, they're unstable. There's something wrong with that.
Your appearance on Jimmy Fallon was canceled, and he said that his staffers were actually crying about the comments that you made. Were you surprised at that reaction?
Weren't
have
they
you been
crying
surprised
that you were there? They were crying that he was there.
That you were even there. Have you been surprised by this reaction?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, yeah, I have been surprised because, you know, I never did anything. I mean, I spoke, but I mean, I don't want to be tossed in with people that actually did, not crimes, but sins, or, I barely have consensual sex.
Oh, they all have consent. It's all consensual. When Mr. Happy comes out, it's all consensual.
You just reminded me, and of course everyone's been thinking about him a lot lately, Norm MacDonald. But one of the reason I bring up Norm is Norm, you were describing everybody was following the same rules as a talk show host, which is, okay, you've got to come on, you've got to come up with 3 or 4 stories, they've got to have a beginning, middle, and then payoff. It's got to be something that really happened to you. Norm was this Picasso who decided the eyes don't have to be where the eyes really are, the nose doesn't have to be. He blew it all up, and he would tell stories that were completely fake. I know. They were 100 years old, they were corny jokes, and he would just tell them like they happened to him.
I'm from a little town, it's called Monkland, and it's only 108 people.
108? That's small.
It's country, it's really rural. And but man, I'll tell you, there's lots of funny stories from there.
And I remember the first time he did that, me talking to him and thinking, okay, well, he's got these different, I don't know what we're going to talk about here. And he'd come out and he'd go like, hey, no, how's it going? And I'd be like, oh, Norm, what's going on with you? I bought a farm. I'm like, what, you bought a farm? He's like, yeah, I bought a farm. I got 3 daughters, each prettier than the next.
There was a guy, man, he lived down the road. His name was John Neil Mergerison. And this guy, I went to him once. I've been away for a couple of years, I moved to the city, and I came back. And I said, John Neil, how you doing? I went to his what do you got, farm? And so he's showing me his pigs. He had a bunch of pigs there, He had a bunch of pigs, a bunch of them. And one of the pigs had a wooden leg,
And Andy would be sitting there, and Andy's from the Midwest, he'd be like, wait a minute, I know this joke. This is a joke my grandfather told me. And he'd be like, my grandfather told me.
He says he's mature, and I think it's because he's telling my grandfather's joke.
Stop it, both of you. One has a peg leg, the other has an eye patch, and the third one, she had a wheelbarrow, and it's just a joke. And he would do it,
dresses it
and
up
he
as a
would
story.
dress it all up, and I would think, you asshole. That's the most genius thing in the world, because who really wants to hear what a celebrity, we're all like, well, there is that funny time that I overtipped a little bit, I'll tell that story.
Yeah.
And he was like, no one wants to hear that.
No.
They want to hear a joke from 1911.
He was like the gold. Watching him on your show was the gold standard of, and he was one of those guys. I didn't know Norm at all. I wish I'd never met him. But I would hear all these great stories. I remember watching him on your show once years ago. It was the dumbest bit, where he was doing something and he made some terrible joke and you went, what? And Andy went, what? And he goes, oh, listen to this guy. He's been downloading male porn all day. and then, like, apropos of nothing, and Andy's like, what?
Mr. Roper.
Yeah. No, Mr. Roper?
Yeah.
That's not a good hero.
That's all I got.
Better than this guy's hero is some gay porn actor. Anyway.
What are you talking about? What?
I don't know.
Insane.
No.
What are you saying?
Let me tell you something about gay porn. Seriously. That doesn't mean a guy's gay. I'm not saying that. Because a guy watches gay porn all the time.
Cut to a single. Just of Norm, really?
Gay porn. I enjoy gay porn. I'm not gay. Gay porn is a genre that just cuts across all demographics. You know? Young people, old people, straight people, the gay people enjoy it. Everybody likes gay porn. But this guy really likes it. Now they had to bring it back this week, so they had a compromise. They're allowing one porno magazine.
Only one?
Only one.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the porno magazine that they're putting in is Hairy Guy's Ass Illustrated.
Really? Yeah. Well, if you're going to only allow one, I would think that's the one, you know, probably.
It's a good magazine, though.
It is a good, you know.
It's not. It's not all just pictures of Hairy Guy's ass.
The articles are good. All right.
See, I just read it for Hairy Guy's ass.
Well, see, that's you, Andy. Just people are all different.
He was telling me before the show last week he went to the Hairy Guy's Ass Mansion.
It was great. Why didn't you? Andy has all the fun. He gets to all the big celebrity parties.
Him and Jimmy Kahn.
This is one I heard recently, because since when he passed away, you heard all these stories from all these people, but Norm liked to bet. You know, Norm liked to gamble, and he liked to bet, and he borrowed $200 from someone at SNL, and then the person kept coming up to him and saying, hey, can I get that $200? And he's like, I don't know. And in that Norm way, kind of getting out of the room and shambling away in all angles and elbows. And the guy kept asking for it, and the guy went, hey, come on, man, that means a lot to me. I had $200. I want my $200. Hey, you lost $200. I lost $5,000. Leave me alone. He just got yelled at the guy. You think you got problems? I got bigger problems.
What was the most you ever bet on an event?
$400,000.
Who was it on?
Atlanta Falcons against the Denver Broncos, 1990.
What's amazing is people don't realize is that Norm at the time in the 90s when the OJ trial was going on.
Well, let's be clear, we're not cheering the OJ murder.
Yeah.
Let's just be we're cheering Norm's heroic comedic response to that terrible event.
Yeah.
There you go.
We're on record having said that.
Yeah.
And so he's on the show, and at the time the guy who was running NBC really evidently was friends with OJ, and wanted Norm to stop. So I think maybe a bunch of people here might be too young to appreciate how much Norm's boss was telling him to stop making jokes about OJ, and he was told, you gotta stop. And that weekend Norm comes out and goes, he's on Weekend Update. He says, it turns out the Los Angeles Police Department admitted today that they had planned to frame O.J. Simpson for those murders until they got to the crime scene, and it turned out he did it.
A shocking new development in the O.J. Simpson case. Late this afternoon, a high-ranking official in the Los Angeles Police Department admitted to Geraldo Rivera that the police did conspire to frame O.J. Simpson for the murders of Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman. However, they called the conspiracy off when they got to the murder scene and found that O.J. really did do it. While in England, where he spoke at Oxford University.
Why are you going high? Push me to the side. Just keep going on and I ain't getting tired. Yeah, you try to crucify all the good inside. You go and come now.
Double down. Yeah, and then he would stare at the camera. He would stare at the camera and hold, which is this incredible middle finger in comedy.
Incredible.
Turns out he did it. And he would stare at the camera And even if the crowd wasn't laughing, he would stare at them like, you heard what I said.
Yeah. And his job was on the line.
Yeah.
Pretty.
Well, that's a point that I try to make again and again and again, is that there are a lot of people who talk about being brave in comedy and bravery, and
Thank
I
you.
think, no. The risks of falling off a Segway. But no, it's rare. It doesn't happen that often, but Norm is one of those people, and it doesn't happen that often. People that their careers are hurt by the chances they're taking. Their careers are he would do things that would get in the way of him advancing in show business, whether it was his stint on the ESPYs or what he did at SNL. He would do things that would impede him from moving up the ladder. And there are a lot of people that don't take any risks and then get credit for being brave. And that's where you lose me, Will, you know?
Wait.
I'm sorry.
Oh, wait, you're talking about me?
No, the different Will.
You're talking about Ferrell.
I'm talking about Will Ferrell, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, Ferrell.
He's the worst.
He's the worst
He's
guy
such a
you'll ever...
monster.
Tell him your best story.
My best story was the Steve Irwin. You just fucking told it.
No, it happened to you. He's a comedian. You ever do the Tempe Improv?
Okay.
What was your joke?
You had one joke?
No, it
I had to have had
was
one.
so ridiculous. It
What?
was stupid.
What was it?
Oh God, man!
Well,
It was something like don't take a shot from a girl at a bar because it looks ridiculous. It's never good. I think the punchline was is this a Care Bear cum shot or something? It was really ridiculous.
Don't take a shot at a girl at a bar. I think it has to do with the Care Bears. It's like, what?
That was the worst.
I don't remember it. It was so long ago, but that was the gist of it, and that's why I don't do stand-up anymore.
You should open with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should open and close with it.
He can't even tell his own joke.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not a good,
anything.
Yeah, clearly. I mean, it's like...
Some days we get closer. Things that we never really needed. Promises that we never thought of keeping safe. I guess it's never over if we never got a chance.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay.